rolling.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 165 of the Jiu Jitsu Dummies Podcast. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, website design, SEO, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can absolutely help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, BB Digital Marketing. You can request a free review of your online presence today. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a Black Belt training out of South Florida at Coral Springs BJJ in Coral Springs. We got Christian behind the camera.
Hey.
He's such a dick. Hey. It gets lower each week. We got Bo on the social media today. And we got Bo. Ben. We got Ben. Oops.
Phil.
We got Ben on co-hosting duties once again. Welcome back, Ben.
Thanks for having me, as always.
In studio, we have Rob Ingram from McDojo.
What up, brother?
Welcome, brother.
Thank you for having me.
Don't forget to like, comment, save, share, click that subscribe button. We really appreciate the support.
Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Yeah, right. Yeah. What, I don't know how that works. Is it like, here's my handle? Like, right? I guess it's like a handle.
I have no clue. I don't have one.
It's McDojoLife.
Shout out to Leighton Campbell, who was on our last episode. His book, and you get Your Happiness Equation, wearing a little wearing his hat that he brought us.
I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, he brought us a hat. Great book. He's got the audio coming out, but I think the book's a little bit better because then you can actually visualize doing the little tests for your to do your equation and see the actual equation. But he did. He gave me the links to YouTube where he had the audiobook he was recording.
He's a
like, here, do this. Mm-hmm. He's a purple belt. Yeah, training. Yeah. It trains down.
I'm about to start doing book reviews on my page.
Perfect.
So,
it was good. It's very. It's great for business owners, I think, especially. I mean, it's great for anybody, but as a business owner, getting into the ones that really got me, the areas of the book that got me were purpose and gratitude. Those were the ones where I was just like, my antennas went up and I'm like, purpose, academy safe for me these days that's like, I feel like that's why I found jiu-jitsu. I'm like, academy safe, making a difference there. And then just the gratitude and really like enjoying life. I've been working so hard that I'm not enjoying, so it woke me up a little bit. So, I went this week. I went to a winery this weekend. I went to the pool with my girl. Like things that I don't normally do. I was just like, "Fuck this! I got to start enjoying life." And because I read the book, and I'm just like, "Yeah, you're killing yourself. You're killing yourself with those." And I'm looking directly at you because I know like you have to always be. I message you and you're like right back. I Instagram you, you're like right back. You're on that all day.
Yeah. Well, like I don't know, man. I saw this thing the other day and it kind of reminded me of it. Y'all ever watch Gordon Ramsay?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got like 1 million shows, and I just saw one. It's a show where he basically flips these restaurants in 24 hours. So he basically does Kitchen Nightmares, but it's like in 24 hours.
Flips them into a good restaurant, or like to sell
them? Into a good restaurant, and he does basically the same bit as Kitchen Nightmares, but he does it in that limited time frame, clock or whatever. And I was like, this show is kind of like a reckoning. Like, you got 24 hours of this man's undivided attention to do whatever you need to do to save your company that's in the hole, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, does this dude never not work? And I don't think he does. I think I think that dude probably works all the time. And like, I'm watching this show and I'm like, he never seems to run out of energy. Like, he's always working. This show's like 24 hours
I've definitely watched like the Master Chef. My girl loved Master Chef. I've watched the... So you're saying 24 hours. Is it the same show we're thinking? What's the name of that show? Do you know
Kitchen Nightmares is his big
maybe
show.
The Kitchen Nightmares is the one that I've seen.
It's just like that, but it's like in a 24-hour period. But the reason I bring it up is because they're there 24 hours. They have a clock ticking and the cameras run the whole time. And it just made me think the other day, I was like, damn, like he's making an impact. He's definitely doing a lot of work. But this dude must not have a life outside of this.
Yeah.
Like, this is just what he does. But
hyper-successful people don't have a good work-life balance.
Yeah, it's all just work. And then I'll die. And then when I'm dead, y'all can enjoy.
Finally be over.
Do you feel like you have a good work-life balance?
Sweet release.
No, not at all, right?
No.
No, my girl's all over me to get there. Like, why you're doing... So I'm 5 years into the marketing company in November. It's 5 years for just the marketing company. And it's now I'm able to back away. I have a sales team. My daughter runs the back end. I just got to make sure the bills are paid. I still do sales, but not like I did before. So it's just now recently transitioned into like, oh, I'm done at 3 and I could go to the gym, take a nap. Or, like I can stop. But, as long, I think all of us, right, as long as we have this, other than having to teach at the gym, if you have this, you could do most of what you do in a day, right?
I'll be working cuts at, say, Game Bread or Combate, and my phone is blowing up for the next week's bookings, private lessons, incoming students, the podcast, like
virtual assistant.
Man, I'm at a job, doing a job, booking the next job in my downtime.
You need somebody doing that. I don't know. Does your wife help you with that stuff too, or?
Yeah, but she's out of country right now.
Yeah. With your daughter?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. I'm solo, which means I have time to do all the work.
Yeah. No, there's never time to do all the work.
No. Because no matter,
there's always more work.
I've been looking at my Google Calendar, and I'm 9:30 to 9:30 with like a half-hour lunch break, and then I'm still ending the day going, I didn't get anything done.
I think I've told my girl I had to do this. I had to do 7 days a week, pretty much for 5 years, 16-hour days. Most days. That had to be done to get me to here where I can, like, now it's running. Now I can, do other things. But I mean, again, I already know that he's like that, but I recognize it with you. Like, you're like Johnny on the spot with replies or comments on Instagram. Like when you put, like, I see, like,
I never know what to comment to be.
I'll get a message. Like, I'll get messages, and I do the best that I can to read every direct message I ever get, which is at this point impossible, unfortunately, but I try. Yeah. Instagram doesn't have a feature where you can flip it. So like you always get the newest message at the top. So it just buries everything underneath.
It's true.
So it's like if they just had a filter button that would allow me to look at the last message, I could actually probably get to everybody in a fair, decent time.
I know there is a filter for unread messages.
Yeah,
but on your level, you're hundreds of thousands of followers. Like, I get a decent amount of activity, and I've got 6,000 followers. So I can only imagine what it's like to have 100 times more.
Well, like I'll get, and that's just Instagram, but I tried one time about a year ago to get to the bottom of the messages. So what I did was I put on a movie, and I just started scrolling. And just scrolling with my thumb. And I would keep track of it, and I just kept scrolling. And the 2-hour movie went by, and I was not even close to the bottom.
Oh, like, just the unread ones.
Just the unread ones.
Yeah,
so hard. This is one of the downfalls of like an Instagram, because now when someone tags you in a comment, it pops up as a message. So like, you got to figure a bunch of those are people going, "Yo, McDojoLife, check this out."
It depends, but like the thing that's funny is when you get trolled. And we were talking a little bit about this before we started, but like people will send me messages, and while I'm answering someone else's message, and which is any downtime I have, I'll just let's start answering people, right? Someone will go to troll you. And like, you're answering so quickly. Like, yeah, because I'm like literally answering people's messages about rapists, frauds, convicts, pedophiles, cults, and here you are being a dick. And like, you're interrupting me being able to do my job. And so like, what I'll do is in my messages, I'll answer them, and then I'll just delete them. Unless it's like something that I feel is like warrants like me saving it to my primary. But everything else, answer, delete, answer, delete, answer, delete, so I can move on with my life.
Yeah.
And here, I'll be answering other people's messages. Ding! Here comes that dickhole again. He's back at the top. All right, cool. There you go. Moving on. Ding! It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like,
he's just sending you messages?
Yeah, it happens.
Could you? I know, I understand the value of answering, right? You're on the comments more than anything. Answering a direct message isn't going to help with your algorithm.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it has nothing to do with that. I'm a man of my word.
Okay.
So if I tell, like, there's two things. Well, there's a couple things I told myself, but one, I said I would answer every direct message I got ever, and I still stand by that.
Okay.
So if it's an asshole, I'm not shying away from you. Like, I'm not going to be scared to answer you.
I'm almost at the bottom.
I told everybody that I would do any show I ever got asked to be on. So like, I've been the first guest on, I don't know, at least 30, 40 podcasts, and some of those just like never had an episode too. So I guess
That's what I hang out with you, bro.
That was another question, and actually, you kind of like inspired me to say yes to more. Like I was,
why not?
Again,
why wouldn't you?
I was going to go back and say, even before we had you on and I met you, even spoke to you directly, if I would even just do like happy faces or clap hands or be like, the funny emoji or something, you almost always just like thanks, homie. You would always do like a thank you, homie, or on your YouTube stuff, like, and I was just like, I just press send, and he like it's already a thank you. I'm like, I wonder if it's automated. I wondered if some of that was automated, but then I'm like, well, he's not going to say thanks, homie, to the guy that's trying to troll him. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So like, there's a real person behind this, and then I didn't know if you had help. Like,
no, it's just me.
So, as someone who has experience with this, I've recently started making a real big push since hanging out with Milton Moore to get all my socials and my YouTubes kind of on the ball, because my Instagram crazy busy. My YouTube, forget about it. So I'm purposefully now double stacking, putting everything everywhere. And one of my videos on YouTube kind of hit. And last time I looked, I had almost 700 comments on it.
Nice.
Which for me is crazy.
No, that's great.
You know? And I always kind of subscribe. I ignored the Joe Rogan advice of post and ghost, man. Don't look at that shit.
That's what I did in the beginning.
But I never had that because I don't normally get a lot of negative. And I'm also normally only getting like 2 or 3 comments. So not a big deal. And then I get 700. I'm like, oh, this is crazy. And I look at like this one supportive, a bunch of like, this guy doesn't know what an armbar is. And it's like, I'm a 3-stripe black belt. I've been in the UFC. I know what an armbar is. Like, come on. And as I scroll, I'm just seeing like, wow, everyone thinks I'm a fucking idiot. Like,
well, he was saying that outside. Had you walked up when he said that outside?
No.
That like if somebody comments negative, you go ahead, tell it. Go ahead. You explain it.
So when it comes to like how I handle a lot of that stuff, like the internet, especially YouTube, is kind of on our side as creators. So like you can like, I'll rephrase this just to kind of give an idea. So I'm going to be teaching a seminar in Pennsylvania at a place called Seminar Stack, and I'm only teaching it on social media. So people forget that social media is not a compound word. We think of social media all the time as social media. It's not. It's social media. And so I think about this, since we're thinking about it as social, like I'm inviting people into my home. Like my Instagram page is my home. My YouTube, that's a home. And when I allow someone to come into my home, come correct. If not, this is real life and a real social environment, I'd kick you the fuck out of my house. I wouldn't let you just talk to me how you feel to talk to me. And I think online, people think that just because you have a following, they can say whatever they want to you. No, you can't. There's a real person behind here, and you can talk all that shit, but you can talk it silently. So like on Instagram, so many people restricted. And then people will still comment, and I'll check. You can see like restricted comment. They're still helping my algorithm. They're still helping me grow. They're commenting, so they're still interacting. They still follow me. And so I'll look, and every once in a while, I'll just, what does that restricted comment say? And of course, they're being a dick. I'm like, that's why I restricted you. Might move on.
Tell him about very specifically, you said like, if the first couple of comments are negative, then it tends to the whole,
for sure.
The whole
so
the
it's
whole
a weird
thing becomes
it's a weird
negative.
thing. Like if the first like 5 to 10 comments on any post will almost always dictate the feel of the rest of the comments.
Yeah.
And so if like you get a couple people on there, even if they have no clue what they're talking about, and they start talking shit, everyone else will talk shit. It's like a dog pile.
Okay.
But like, again, I don't have to listen to that shit. You're in my house. I opened the door for you to be here. So if you want to come and be respectful, we can disagree. But the moment you start throwing insults, or you start being a dick, restricted, now you can talk to yourself. Like, I'm giving you all my time because I said that I would. But if you're going to be an asshole, I have no time for you. And YouTube is even better because you can just hide their channel. So like, I'll just hide from channel. And you could like, look, you can see like, okay, well, every comment they've made has been negative as shit. So clearly they're just going to keep doing this. Hide from channel. I don't need that in my life. Like, if people want to be cool with me, that's cool. If people don't like me for a good reason, that's also cool. Because, like, good criticism, I think, is healthy. Somebody just sent me a Studio Gimli, like, AI thing, like a piece of fan art. And so I've always shared any fan art that I've ever been sent. So this happens to be AI generated. Okay, I don't give a shit. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I posted it as a thank you to the guy who sent it to me. Man, comment after comment. How dare you? That's stealing. I'm like, first of all, it's not stealing. I was like, it was AI generated. It was an AI generated photo of me in that style, but it wasn't stolen. And then people were like, well, you don't get it. I'm like, what isn't there to get? It's AI. Do you feel like you complaining about AI is going to stop it from growing? Because it's not. Do you feel like it really stole from somebody? Who did it steal from? Because how many artists use other people's art style? I mean, I have tattoos. Those are in different people's art style.
Definitely.
Did they steal my shit?
I can't draw.
Yeah, like, and then like, or if somebody winds up sharing a piece of fan art, am I not supposed to? I'm supposed to tell them to go fuck themselves because they took the time to care about what I do enough to generate something in AI. I don't care. I really don't give a shit. So I posted it, and people are in the comment sections just, you don't get it, you don't understand. Like, you know how many thousands of dollars every year I spend on art? Like, it's a shitload of money. My logo, I paid for. This logo, an artist made. Like, the tattoos that I get, an artist made. Every t-shirt that I've ever done, artist made. Like, I spent all that money, and here you are bitching and moaning in the comment sections. Did you send me art? No, because I would have shared it.
It's almost always the person that really doesn't even have anything to do with the subject matter.
Yeah.
Like,
Miserable
maybe
people
he was
like
an
to
artist,
spread
but,
being miserable.
I'll tell you what, if you're out there and you don't like it, suck my balls.
Yeah.
Like both of them.
Nice
Or individually, I don't care.
What you were talking about, like somebody like hiding behind the camera. You know, when I did sales when I was younger, we used to call it the telephone tough guy.
Yeah.
You know, the person on the other side, I'll fucking beat the shit out of you. I see you in the street. Like, you're never going to see me. You're in Oklahoma. I'm calling you from New York. Like, we're never going to see each other. Or, what was the other thing that people used to do? Just like, you know, go fuck yourself, this and that. And meanwhile, the funniest thing that ever happened to me was I was a broker. I cold called somebody. And the woman was like, yeah, hold on 1 second. And she had a whistle by the phone. I guess she was getting so many. And she just blew it into the phone. I was like, ah! But you know what happened? I took that card and I passed it around a room with 100 other brokers. And the idea, like, you pass it around, like, hey, call this. So then it became like, hey, funny, call. And then you pass it, and everyone's dialing her now as the fuck you to the lady, which was stupid. We were kids, you know. But that's how we handled it.
Well,
but, you know, the telephone tough guys, it's the same thing as like you know, the fucking a little 4'10" guy or woman in a car. They lay on the horn, and then you get up next to them, and it's just like, what? You know, like, and then like, there's nothing to say.
I don't know, this Florida everybody guns here.
What?
I feel offended.
Constitutional carry.
Yeah, lady 4'10", 4'11".
Yeah, but have you seen his biceps?
Yeah.
We got to get Christian's camera fixed because he is such a stud.
Right here,
I
just
wanna be a camera guy.
put a camera. You got
Look,
to put a camera here. You're our Jamie.
With a punum like this,
Jamie's
my
never
friend.
on camera.
He has one. He puts himself on
Firstly,
camera.
I'm literally looking at the camera right here. It's
Yeah.
just pointed down. It's like just not
he's
pointed
turned
at
it
you.
away.
That was very
You know
purposeful.
what I think it
feel.
is? I think he's done a little porn, and he's afraid for people to realize it's the
Yeah,
same
that's a
guy.
possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, you know,
This is South Florida.
listen, I think, you know, listen, you're single, right?
Yeah.
Are you
dating?
ready to mingle?
You dating? You're looking for a zaddy?
Yeah.
We were talking about what a zaddy was before. Who didn't know what a zaddy was? You didn't know what a zaddy was?
I thought a zaddy was like a sugar daddy.
I thought it was like a male cougar.
Throw up the definition. What's the exact definition?
Could you look
of a
that up
zaddy?
for us, Jamie?
Come on, Jamie, do your job.
We're gonna put a camera on you if you're slow.
See what we got here.
That'll be your punishment, getting you some bitches.
That's
is
a
it?
punishment?
Go ahead, you read it out. Read it out, Christian.
All right, so this is Urban Dictionary. We got the first one. Typically, a guy who's older than you but sexy AF. He makes you wet just thinking about him. You even consider having his baby. Spoils you rotten, treats you right, and F's you even better. I can't wait till my zaddy gets here. We going shopping, then to eat, then later he gonna F me silly.
Jesus.
Firstly, as a
Does it
lesson,
actually say
I
F?
didn't know
Or
Urban
did you
Dictionary
edit
put
yourself?
out.
I'm editing it.
Oh, okay.
I
got
didn't
you.
know that Urban Dictionary put out definitions like that.
they do.
As-
But let me, as an old guy, let me tell you guys out there, do the effing first because you're gonna be tired. All that shopping be bullshit.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you something. Again, me and my girl have figured this out. When we go on a date night,
Bang first.
we
then
have sex
go.
first before we go out.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause you're
usually
old.
like, and we're just usually like, because we haven't seen each other, we're like,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah, you're
riled
ready.
up, get it out of the way. Now, no pressure, no like, hey, I'm tired, we should leave because I know we want to like throw down a little bit. You get it out of the way, go out, eat, get stuffed. You're not like this.
You don't
fat.
even have to dress
You're not
up
like
anymore.
all fat and like, hey baby.
You're talking about stuffing before the stuffing.
We figured it. We figured it out. We figured it out. You know?
Genius.
Right? And then
A
you get,
true leader.
This
Then you
man
get
is
to
thinking
come
in the
home
future.
and just go to bed and not feel guilty.
Preparing the minds of tomorrow today.
It's
I mean,
a quote from Starship Troopers.
Said, look at that guy. Look at that. Said like a look at that zaddy right there. No, go to Ben. Go to Ben. Ben, look at that. Look at this guy. How old are you, Ben?
42.
Bro, you don't look a
Sexy
day
years
over
old.
40.
Thank you. Thank you. In my mind, I'm still 28. In my back, I'm 117. You know.
Do martial arts. It's good for you.
Yeah, right.
I just turned 40.
Yeah, I was trying to say happy
couple
birthday
days.
before.
Happy
man. I know you were.
birthday to
I'm
We were
officially
talking about
40.
how long you've been in this industry. But
Oh, yeah, 28 years officially in April. April 12th.
Happy birthday,
Marks
man.
my first class ever was on my birthday.
Really?
That's cool.
Didn't you like your mom got? Did
Yeah,
your
I
mom
got
get you
I got
extra
the shit
for,
beat out of me in school. I was getting bullied in school like all the time. And then I got jumped in 8th grade, like right outside of the gym class. And they beat me for 5 minutes. And the only reason I know it was 5 minutes is because they beat me from the first bell to the second bell. So like they beat me from bell to bell, literally.
Did they stop at the bell because they had to get the class?
Yeah, just so they dipped.
By chance, did you also go from pillar to post?
No, I went from standing to ground.
Okay.
And then they stomped me out. I actually got a little piece of you can see like a little piece of pencil lead right there. Somebody, like one of the kids went to go stab me.
What the fuck did you do?
I looked like this. That was it.
Oh, okay.
And so
I understand.
They beat the shit out of me, and I'm laying there bleeding. My glasses had cut me up, and I wind up looking into the distance, and my acquaintance at the time, but now like closest friend, he was walking towards me, and he's like a fatter dude, so he was kind of had that waddle, and I was like, I know exactly who that is. And as I lay there bleeding, he was late to the class, so he walked over, he picked me up, and walked me to the nurse's office, and he handed me a card, and it was a free trial martial arts card. He goes, you need this. And it was the only thing we said to each other. Went home that after my mom picked me up, went home, handed her the card, and I was like, I'd really like to do martial arts. And she had never let me do any other sports because of all the surgeries I had. She was worried if I got hit with a baseball, it'd mess up my surgeries, or football, whatever. So I asked her to do that, and she said maybe. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, maybe is not what my mom normally says. It's yes or no. So then the next month was my 12th birthday. I wind up going home after school, and there was a box and a piece and cake waiting for me. So she had a card. There was some cash in there. I opened up the box, and it was just a piece of paper. And as a kid, you're like, well,
this sucks.
What, a piece of paper? What am I going to do with this piece of paper? And it was she's asked me to read it, and it was a contract paid in full for martial arts classes for an entire year. And she goes, your first class is tonight. Your uniform's waiting on you. And so I went, had my first class on my birthday, and never stopped.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
What was the discipline?
It was American freestyle karate. Okay. So it was like Joe Louis, Bill Wallace type.
Was that like PKA style?
A little. It's more like kickboxing, to be honest.
Yeah, it was like 80s kickboxing, above the waist.
Yeah,
mandatory like 7 strikes.
Yeah, we didn't really even do leg kicks. We do them every once in a while, but it was like back then it was a much different beast than it is now. Like, I mean, this is 28 years ago, so like you'd have infighting even in your own art. You'd have people who, like, you go to a martial arts tournament and, like, the fighters would, like, look down upon the kata people, and the kata people thought the fighters were thugs.
Still do.
And then, you know, the BJJ guys were not even really a thing yet.
They're just a bunch of cuddling men, just a bunch of dudes
that's what it was
like
like.
To cuddle.
Yeah, it was weird. Like, the atmosphere was so segregated. And it's segregated now, but it's not nearly as bad as it was.
Yeah.
Like, it was weird back then. Like, everybody was, like, in their own, like, cliques. It was very feudal Japan. Like, our dojo versus your dojo. Yeah. Like, dojo storms were very much a thing, and it wasn't even for frauds. It was just like, I don't like that gym. And the whole dojo would just go, and they would just fight.
And that's not even all that outdated. Like, I have stories from when I started. Oh, I guess now I'm 24 years in, so I guess it is that long ago. But, like, the stories I've heard, just from when I started jiu-jitsu, from gym storms and stuff. Luckily, I didn't have to really deal with any. I thought I was going to have to deal with a couple, and then they turned out to be very friendly.
Yeah, sometimes it just works out. Like,
yeah.
I remember, like, I think I was a month in, and I went to show up to, like, a sparring class, and then, like, there was a lot of people that day. And I was like, that's weird. And they're all wrapping their hands, and everybody's, like, it's a little palpable, like, anger in the air. You're like, why is everybody so off today? People are, like, real quiet. Music's blaring, and I'm like, they were like, there's no class today. You can sit and watch, but you can't participate, because I was 12. So there's all like full grown men, and a whole nother dojo came in from like a Wing Chun school, and they just beat the shit out of each other. Like, everybody paired off for sparring, and they just went at it. And then, like, it was like a normal sparring session. So timer goes off, everybody switches to new partners, and they would go at it. I was like, God damn. So I'm glad I didn't participate, because I like know nothing.
That's crazy. We've come a long way.
Yeah,
we have.
Never been dojo stormed?
Not where it actually came to anything.
Yeah.
You know, I've gotten the phone call, hey, we're coming through. But and they come in, and then they're very polite, and they sign up for their trial day. Like, I've had that.
A waiver.
I've had weirdos. I had a guy come in, like, just kind of walked in. Was like, I want to do a trial. I'm like, great. You got to fill out these papers. And he's like, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to check it out. I'm like, all right, cool. 20 minutes later, he's on my carpet, shoes off, standing by the other mat. Still has his street clothes on. And he's like, yo, let me jump in on this. Like, I mean, class started a half hour ago. You had the chance. I'm sorry. He's like, all right, word. And I'm like, could you put some shoes on? I'm a stickler for shoes.
Yeah.
Like, I lose my shit at grappling tournaments.
Oh, bathrooms are gross, dude.
So he said, like, I host IKF tournaments, and I'm on, like, if you are walking around barefooting, I will disqualify you and keep your money. You cannot be disgusting. Anyway. So he comes to the edge of the mat again, and I'm like, what's going on, man? And he's like, all right, man, so, like, we should film a video. right, I want to teach some ground and pound. Can you help me with that? And I'm like, what are you talking about? So like, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna show how I do ground and pound on you. And then like, you can shoot me the video. I'm like, are you in your fucking mind? Like, what are you talking about? Oh, man, well, you not cool, bro? Like, I don't, what? Like, I've run into those, but no one that wanted to fight.
Like, when I was teaching karate, like, we had a guy, like, you just reminded me. So we had a guy come in, he was a Kempo guy. And he came in and he did like a trial class with us, but he was already a black belt in his art. So we did the trial class, and he was like really cool, really friendly guy. He shows up the Friday, because we did like Friday night fights, like we did our sparring sessions on Friday. So he shows up, and it was very like relaxed. Like, we didn't set timers. So it was like you spar a little bit with somebody until you kind of wanted to move on. You touch gloves, go to somebody else, and you just kind of pair off as you go, kind of like an open mat, right? And so he winds up pairing off with a bunch of other people, but he winds up pairing off with like a 15-year-old kid who is a big kid. So he like has kind of like the frame of an adult, but he's still a child. And he winds up like kind of putting it to him. And I had to walk over and be like, hey man, like he's a kid. I know he seems like an adult. That's a mistake or whatever. But like, if you can just tone it down, we'd appreciate that. And so he did. And then he moves on, and his next sparring partner was like a 16-year-old girl. And he starts beating the brakes off of her. Like, again, you're a grown 30-year-old man. Like, these are little teenagers, man.
Fuck that bitch.
Yeah, and so, like, he starts beating on her, and I walk over. I'm like, hey, man, like, that's twice. Like, you're a guest. Like, you're going a little hard. He's like, well, who can I go hard with? I was like, you can go hard with me. Like, we can make that happen all day because you're beating up these teenagers. And so, like, back then, I was, like, pretty much just only doing karate all the time. And I started my first competition when I was a month in. So I was like competing all the time. So I was like chomping at the bit every once in a while to just kind of put it on somebody. So I crossing sidekick him, and he was off balance. So when I hit him in the chest, he like barreled back, ass first through the drywall. So he went through that drywall, and he went through the other drywall, which was a dry cleaner on the other side.
No shit.
Yeah, but like, I mean, it's not like a gap. It's like, the wall. So he goes through that, ass on the floor through the drywall. And he like sat in between the studs for a second, and he was like, just sat there. He got up, didn't say a word, and he left. He just grabbed his bag
got
and
embarrassed.
left. But like when I'll never forget, like I'm looking at this dude thinking, all right, well now we're clearly fighting. Like he's gonna get up and he's like, we're gonna do this. Like this is no longer a sparring session.
Yeah.
And I meant to kick him hard, but I didn't mean to like put him through the damn drywall.
Yeah, you got to fix that.
Yeah. Well, my boss was psycho at the time too, so I was like, oh fuck, my boss gonna.
But then you tell him what happens, he's like, hell yeah, tell that
exactly.
motherfucker.
So like, but the best part was when he peeled himself out of the drywall. I'm looking at him thinking, all right, well here we go. He's gonna come at me. He got out of the drywall and just calmly walked out. But the lady who ran the drywall company, or not the drywall, the lady who ran the dry cleaner company is just like looking through his soul.
Hi, Mr. Rob.
Hey, like, sorry.
We'll get that
crazy.
patched up, I
our
promise.
Yo, man, let's talk a little bit about Academy Safe. We wanted to touch base. Ben is going through the process right now.
The process.
Obviously, Rob is the executive VP of the nonprofit. I'm a founder, and what's up?
I can't stop in the middle of wrestling season and just go get a hip replacement is what the doctors want to do. I don't have time to take off. Since going to Leheal, my knee pain is 100% gone. I couldn't even run from here to the door over there. And then after completing the peptide treatment, I can run miles now. Anybody that wants to stay active, anyone that's involved with a sport, anyone that has young kids, and you want to avoid, number one, the cost of surgery, the rehab from surgery, Leheal is the place to go.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile is seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
Speak from your chest.
Who's
boy.
the founder?
I'm the founder and executive director. It's been going really good. It's been going really good. I did announce it on the last episode. That's not, as of today, isn't out. But we talked about Tap Cancer Out.
Yeah, that was a great.
We talked about
partnership
UCLA, both that you had spoken to you first, and have come aboard. UCLA, we're getting them set up, and then in the new year, as they have a solid list of the coaches and assistant coaches that are going to be on probably over the summer, we'll start getting them onboarded and through the background check process. But the one that we've announced is Tap Cancer Out. We didn't talk about like some of the other things that are going on with them.
Yeah.
We just said, we're working with them.
Oh, okay.
They're getting accredited. I know there's that one little piece that they don't want to talk about yet, which is
but
wonderful.
It's a big deal coming up. So.
Yeah. So they're going through the process. I think almost everybody has gone through the background check, so all of their people passed the background check.
Yeah.
And we're hoping for some big things. Thank you for getting that set up. And it's,
I try to make sure that like we're growing at a decent pace. Like I think it's a nice little one foot in front of the other pace.
Yeah.
We're not trying to run out of the gate. Obviously we're trying to tighten the screws as we go, but ultimately what we're trying to do is get gyms to hold themselves to higher standards than what's required. Like for instance, it's not required that you don't beat the shit out of your students. You could, right?
Well,
that would make you a dick. You probably wouldn't have very many students, but you could do that, and you can call it training. But like the amount of things that are not required is astonishing. You don't need background checks. You don't need first aid CPR certification. You don't need defibrillators on site. You don't need cameras in your dojo. You don't need concussion training, which is kind of asinine in a job where we are guaranteed to get hit in the head. Sure. You don't need so many things. All you really need to do, you don't even need to know martial arts, which is astonishing.
You don't even need an LLC. You just need to get a lease.
You can be a sole proprietor. You don't need anything to start a martial arts gym. And that's astonishing to me considering that martial arts has been around since the dawn of time. Since one dude was like, bam, and then another guy was like, well, we could do that better. Now let me show you. And like, oh, martial arts is born. But it just kind of blows my mind that you can go to a martial arts tournament and there could be 15 people in there who are probably on a sex offender registry, easy. And no one thinks twice about it. Or you can go to a martial arts gym and people will ask, well, how much does it cost? But they don't ask, do you guys do background checks? It seems like there's a weird pop culture that is like swayed the way people view martial arts away from reality.
Do you think it's because of like movies and like, honor, respect?
Absolutely.
And the classic sensei picture?
Yeah, man. Like honor, integrity, respect, discipline, all those tenets of martial arts. That's not, as cool as that is, and as much as we do those things, for as many people that go to martial arts that really want that out of martial arts, there are plenty of people that go to martial arts that just want to beat the shit out of people. There are plenty of people who go to martial arts to be an instructor there because they know that their background won't be looked into. Like it's a last bastion of real like cults in America. Like if you just take a peel off the surface and just look a little deeper into martial arts, you'll see just how gross it can get because no one's regulating it. I have an entire career made off of something I thought was going to be a hobby. I was like, I'll post about these McDojos or whatever. And then as I start researching, I'm like, holy shit. Like this actually gets really gross. Like even people who are looked up to in our industry, there are certified rapists or people who paid off rapists, severance, $50,000, Brazil. There are people who paid rapists and no one blinks an eye. No one blinks an eye. Why? Because they're good at jiu-jitsu? Who gives a shit?
It's facts.
Who gives a shit? Who cares that you're good at jiu-jitsu? The only people that care that you're good at jiu-jitsu are fans and your students. That's it. No one else cares. Like if you go to take that craziness and just go to an office. You're the president, the head of R&D, right? Shit. Janitor, whatever the case is. And then we're all talking and everybody stops because the janitor walks in. And we go, oh, well, I know you have good ideas and I know you're in charge, but who we should listen to is the janitor because he can kick our ass. That would never happen. Never happen. Why? Because that's such a low thing on the day-to-day totem pole that you could beat someone up.
Speak for yourself.
Go to any prison ever and look at how many people are good at beating people up. Do we respect them? Do we think, oh man, that guy, he's going to give me good advice about my insurance? But for martial artists, they think that the sensei is their therapist. They think their sensei is their mentor. Like that dude was just smoking crack. Just because he could beat you up does not make him a good person. And that's okay. But ultimately, how okay is it? Where is our line? And that's an individual thing. But don't we think that the public should be made aware that if I'm going to give money to this guy, I should at least be aware if he was a rapist. I should at least be aware if he was a child molester. You know, like these are important facts.
And
that the
as a
public should
bare
know.
minimum, that is in reality,
that's a low
it's
bar.
a pretty low point of entry.
Yeah.
Hey, have you not done something fucked up to a kid? No, I haven't.
Hey,
Step
sold.
one completed.
Here's $20.
Rob, I've followed your coverage of the Leclerc incident up in upstate New York. I have not watched the last video you put out.
The hour-long
on
one?
my list, the hour-long one. I'm not sure in that video or in your research, do we know why the father, who was a convicted rapist, why his file was sealed and why that wasn't necessarily like public information? Do we know anything about that?
I think I saw this on Instagram. It was a parent and a son and a second son, and they're
he'll
all.
explain it. Yeah.
So it was a father. So Robert Leclerc Sr. He ran 6 martial arts studios in New York, and his son Tyler Leclerc gets brought up on 42 charges, if I remember correctly, of like child molestation.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's really, really messed up stuff. So, but when Tyler Leclerc winds up getting busted, people start looking and digging into like the whole thing. And then somebody starts to realize, or there are people out there who realize, like, I remember Robert Leclerc Sr. got brought up on rape charges. Well, you can see on the Clerk of Court's website, yeah, absolutely, 3rd-degree rape, which is in New York anyway, because that definition changes from state to state. But in New York, a third degree rape is a felony. But it's also anyone who is over the age of 21 who had sex with somebody under the age of 17. So, like, the lie he was telling people and still seems to tell people is like that age gap is much smaller. Dude, it doesn't matter what the age gap is. Honestly, it does not matter. You were convicted of rape. That is a fact. That is, you could look on the website, you could see you were convicted of rape. Whatever you did, according to the law, is wrong, minus your semantics.
But was that sealed for a certain amount of time, or that was public and nobody ever did a background check on him to see it?
So, like, it's sealed. If you went on the Clerk of Court's website, you could see how long it's been there. So, like, if you went on there, you could see it, but you couldn't see any details about it.
But you would know that on the other side of the sealed file was a rape allegation or rape charge.
Rape conviction.
So so what was sealed? The actual charges, the
case.
rape, one or the other?
The case. So, like, you can look and you can see he was convicted of 3rd-degree rape. That's
and that's
on the
been
website.
there since
that's been
websites
there.
have been websites.
That's been there.
Right,
So
okay,
he would tell people, and I do believe he probably was even ordered by the court that he mandatory had to say something about it. But it's neither here nor there. Ultimately, he was able to run 6 martial arts studios as a convicted rapist, which he shouldn't have been allowed to teach children. Shouldn't have been. Shouldn't have been allowed to be around children. Shouldn't have been allowed to be in a position of power around children. What happened there is wrong. It is a system that failed them. The system failed those kids because if he had not been allowed to teach that martial arts program, if he had not been allowed to run those studios, his son would have not had access to those kids that he molested. And even worse is that he had another instructor that worked for him who was a minor who was helping out with kids' classes. Again, we have photo evidence that he was helping with kids' classes. He molested 2 children under the age of 6. After he was arrested for that, he was still allowed inside that facility.
How old was that kid?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
Are you saying he was underage, though?
Yeah, he was underage.
Is there like a fucking network where they find each other?
Well, it's so it's like a community in a way. Like whenever you're doing like martial arts consulting, like the feel or the vibe or like the culture is usually considered the community, right? So the culture there was very much like 30 years of like gross shit. So like in that story, I talk about another family that he worked for before he started his own called the So family. Well, the So family, they were basically like defrauding the government through how they did their taxes for like in the sum of like $650,000. And so that's a no-no. So the wife of the So, one of the So's anyway, she wound up doing a year in federal prison, and they wind up like notching it down a little bit for them, but that's not good behavior. Like $650,000, that's tax fraud. Like that's horrible. But then the So's son, one of the So's anyway, his son wound up getting brought up on child molestation charges. So like, and then you have Robert Leclerc Sr. He originally winds up dating a teenage student obviously underage. He winds up dating this teenage student, gets her pregnant. The So family was aware of this and didn't care. Allowed them both to train there. She winds up getting an abortion. After she gets the abortion, she winds up getting pregnant again from him, and then he's begging her to keep the child. And then she winds up keeping the kid. But he had already had another child from a previous marriage. So the 17-year-old girl, 17, she is now in high school. He's a grown-ass man. He winds up having her raise both of those kids. So she's going to school while raising 2 kids. So then the crazy part is that when she got pregnant the second time...
There's a crazier part?
Oh, yeah, it keeps getting crazier. When she starts showing, the So family is like, you can't be in the school anymore. Kicks her out of the school. What? How about the rapist? Like, he's clearly having sex with this underage girl. But in any case, so then he winds up having sex with he gets like grooming process, but then he winds up having sex with a 15-year-old girl. And it's like, look, you clearly have a problem. You already, and that's what he was convicted of rape for, was that. And then they continue this like lie to their students to try to make it sound not that bad. Like, if you give that man money, that is your right as a consumer. You can give money to whoever you want. But I'm going to tell you right now that if you think that he did not do these things or it wasn't that bad, just watch the story. There are 4 interviews that I do, 30 years worth of paperwork, a paper trail of him assaulting
So you're
people.
like a really investigative journalist at this point.
That's what I do, yeah. But like, if you give him money, you have that right. I'm not going to tell you legally that you shouldn't go there, because you can go there. But you're a piece of shit if you do. Like, and then now they're trying to claim like, oh, we're closing our doors. Like, no, you're not. You're like playing money roulette. You're just moving it around and trying to pretend that money isn't going to you. Like, and what was even worse is when parents found out about, like, it really came to light that he was a rapist, and that some parents just did not know. But when that came to light, he just refused to give these parents that were asking for refunds their money back. So like,
I definitely saw part of this video.
it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, and then his wife comes out with a statement after the video that I posted that it was a one-time mistake. Well, me and you have different
We can put
definitions.
that dirtbag's picture up, right?
Please put his picture up. Fuck
Go
him.
to you can go to the YouTube
Just
page
type
or
in
his
Robert
Instagram.
LeClaire Sr. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you'll see McDojo.
LECLAIR.
Put him up. Make sure that people that are watching this can know who this dirtbag is.
Yeah,
and
like,
also
and
go to McDojo
again,
and see the story.
Again, like, what I put out was very much factual. It's all backed by receipts. I don't slouch on my journalism. I make sure what I say is something that I can back. But she put out a statement. His now current wife, I think it's wife 4 or 5, I don't know. His current wife is still trying to defend him, saying that it was a one-time mistake.
He has a fantastic track record.
Did you not watch the video? First of all, we have different definitions of mistake. I wouldn't call rape a mistake. Like, that's a weird way to put it. And second of all, this isn't a one-time thing. Like, let's just go through the motions real quick. Yeah, so you dated a 16-year-old and got her pregnant. She had an abortion. Okay, well, if we're calling that mistake, that's mistake 1. Then you continued to date her and then had sex with her again, which probably happened more than once, and you were fooling around. She gets pregnant. Well, there's mistake number 2. Then she's raising your 2 kids at that point. And then somewhere in there, you completely abandoned that child. Her words. So what was that mistake 3? Just abandoning your son that you clearly wanted her to have?
He only made one mistake.
Only one. And then you started dating a then 15-year-old. Well, 14 when they started dating. 15, I think, is when they start.
Ew. Fucking ew.
So then you wind up then getting caught, and now you have a rape charge. We can call that mistake 5, I think, right? And then after that, you wind up having an instructor who was a teenager at the time. You put him in charge, helping with kids' classes at the very least. And then he winds up getting busted for raping 2 kids under the age of 6. So then rather than removing him from the program, you allowed him to continue to teach at that program. Can we call that number 6? I think we're on number 6 now, mistake. And then your son, Tyler LeClaire, winds up having access to children at your facility who he winds up molesting. And then that would have never happened had you not opened your martial arts studios after the rape conviction. So maybe we can call that 7, depending on how many kids were raped at that point by Tyler. Maybe there could be more mistakes in there, but we'll just give it 7.
Molested. Has he been accused of raping anybody?
Oh yeah, it's rape
This is the guy.
So this is the
that's
son.
Tyler LeClaire. Tyler LeClaire. That's his son. So we're on number 7 mistake, right? If we're calling these mistakes, and then you decided that you're going to blame Tyler and cancel culture is what she called it. For what? For your business failing?
Yeah.
No, we'll call that mistake number 8 because like those aren't mistakes.
Yeah.
Like, so at this point, if we're going to, and by the way, we didn't even talk about the fact that he assaulted one of his instructors inside his facility, and he pled guilty to that. So what is that, number 9? And then he recently got into a car accident riding his Range Rover, which that we can call a mistake, right? But you could afford this Land Rover, but you couldn't afford to pay any of these parents back.
That's how he could afford the Land Rover.
Exactly. So, like, what are we on, 10 now? So we can sit here and we could pretend that by the way, we didn't talk about the countless times that you cheated on all of your girlfriends and wives. But hey, maybe those are 11 or 12. I don't know. But ultimately, if we're going to call this one mistake, not only are you a piece of garbage for defending that man, but also you're downplaying some of the most serious stuff that I've ever had to cover on my site. So, like,
Christian, if you go to the McDojo YouTube, like if you show the thumbnail for the video, that has the dad on it.
Yeah,
right?
that has the dad on it.
That has the dad.
Yeah, so, because ultimately, like, and the point I try to make in that story is I do show that Tyler LeClaire has done horrific things. He does not deserve.
Yeah, can you zoom in on that one?
He needs to be in jail. But what the ultimate thing is, we have to also keep in mind that Tyler LeClaire grew up in an environment where that behavior not only was happening, but it was condoned or downplayed his entire life. Yeah. So, like,
that's the dad.
Yeah. So we can't sit here and pretend that this guy did not have a hand in something that happened. Like, he did. And now I'm just a little blown away by the fact that they cannot take any responsibility. And I really, truly feel bad because I think his now current wife, I think she believes that he is this good person because she's being manipulated. This dude gave underage kids alcohol. I forgot about that part of the story.
Let me jump in here and say, so number one, a background check would have found this out about him. A background check about the dad.
I believe so.
Right, a background check. Okay, so when we talk about what we do at Academy Safe, the top line item is background checks.
Yes.
Right. The couple of arguments that maybe Academy owners have made is, relevant. Hey, I have to do this with IBJJF. That's great. But Academy Safe is about doing background checks on your entire staff in Academy.
Yes.
So you're not doing that with IBJJF. And if you did it with them, you do it with us. You're a member. We're going to advertise you. You get a listing page. We're going to show all of your credentials. Like, there's a method to this madness. We're not just saying, give me money and we do background check. We're saying, like, you're going to become a member of the site. We're going to get all of your staff.
And there's more included than just background checks.
Oh yeah, we'll go over some of those. But that would have found him, and that argument of, well, I've done it someplace else. Great. Well, then do it here. You're going to pass. Do it here, but we're going to do it on all your staff members.
And we redo them every year, every other year.
The background check's good for 2 years. All right. Safe Sport is good for one. We'll talk about Safe Sport in a second. The Safe Sport is good for one, and then you do continuing ed once a year. And then the concussion course, which are 3 items that get done through NBC Sports Engine. The concussion course is just one time. They may have a continuing ed that they'll add on, and then we'll add that on as well. The concussion course is brand new for Sports Engine. So those are the 3 top line items that you got to do. But a background check would have caught this guy. Okay, so the argument, I get it. I've got it done someplace else. Can I just use that? No, we're going to need to do it again. It's got to be done through our system. We're going to do it on everybody. And then again, an argument, not even saying an argument, nobody being a dick about it, but something like you wouldn't have caught the son with a background check. And that's great. We're not going to catch everybody. We've both said this to people. We're not telling you we're going to catch everybody, but it's the first filter. It's like the first thing that we could do. What can we do? Should we not do it because we're not going to catch everybody? So then why have a police force? You're not going to catch everybody.
If you could catch 4 out of 10. It's a huge start.
Yeah. And remember, look, I'm not like, it's not just the coach. It's not just an owner. We would hope that somebody's opening an academy is a good person, but obviously we see that people aren't all good people. But it's also helping an academy owner saying, like, wow, I wasn't doing background checks. I can do them through you, get listed. You guys are going to promote me on social media. You guys are going to promote the website. I'm probably going to get found and get students because of this. And because I should be doing background checks on my employees. Companies all across the United States do it now. Because it's smart to do background checks on my people, I'm going to find out if somebody's under the radar here and should not be given a job.
Well,
pretty simple.
I have to cover stories, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week of like rapists, pedophiles, things like that on McDojoLife. And the amount of times that an instructor didn't know that they had employed somebody is astonishing. One of the craziest stories I just got.
If you're only hearing this on the podcast on the sound, there were air quotes around.
Yeah.
Didn't know.
Yeah, like they.
That's important to understand because I'll let you continue, but that's an important part of this.
They'll say they didn't know, but if you would have required background checks, not only would you know, air quotes again, but also your consumer, your students, would have access to that information, and they can make their own decisions as adults at that point. And I did a story about a guy who hired a registered sex offender, allowed him to teach at his martial arts studio. He did know, and he tried to sue me after I did a story about that. We just got out of the weeds with that because he dropped it. And he
Congrats.
Yeah. This is
After
for you.
after having to spend a couple of bucks yourself.
Oh yeah, I think I spent like $100K.
Jesus.
Defending this?
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
And that was even with a summary judgment and a demurrer. Like this wasn't. We didn't even.
Are
get
you
to
able
court.
to get anything back from him?
I think I got like $20K, but like I'm ultimately the story itself is going to make me my money back because I'm just putting it in the documentary we've been working on.
Yeah.
So like he's about to be a lot more famous than if he would have just shut up and took it.
Oh wow.
Because what he did was wrong. He hired a registered sex. I have like literal messages from him to employees talking about how he hands down knew this guy was a sex offender.
Yeah.
But in any case,
That's insanity.
yeah, it happens all the time.
First, you have to spend time with this person. You are their employer. They're in your academy. Most likely, you are in your academy. You are picking the people you're spending the most time with. And you chose a creep. You chose a scumbag. You chose a
says a
fucking
lot.
chomo.
Yeah.
That's insane. You want to spend time with that guy?
This brings me to Safe Sports. So the U.S. Center for Safe Sports certification, I think, is really important because I've seen it in my own school. It gets this conversation started. Sometimes it's a little bit of joking around, like seeing two students do something and being like, "Is that academy safe?" My barber loves to mess with me because he does train at my old gym, and he's like, any chance he gets to tell the coach, "Hey, is that academy safe?" It's totally
fucking hate
he is totally he fucking hates. He's totally trolling the coach that kind of inspired me to do this because of some of his actions. But it starts a conversation. And you're going to see it with your guys where it's just like, "Hey, is that okay over there?" Whether again it's students or a coach with the student, people, we get very familiar with each other, especially when it's female male. Especially with jiu-jitsu, you're rolling around. Yeah. I think sometimes with coaches and the creepers in our world, they take that I just rolled around with you and my hand hit your boob and maybe I had to grab your pants and I grab your butt. That when the roll is done, that I can be as familiar with you over here. No, we were fighting. Yeah. You don't get to treat me the same way over here. And I think that the U.S. Center for Safe Sports certification opens your eyes to a few things. Number one, grooming. It opens your eyes to bullying, not just between students, but coaches and students. The coach isn't getting what he wants, and he starts treating little Sally a little bit different and being a little nasty to her, the way that he speaks or ignoring her, right? There's this attachment, and then little Sally wants to really make her coach happy and then may get groomed into a situation that she's not happy with. You're looking at me like really weird. This
It's
stuff.
nauseating.
Did you finish your Safe Sports certification yet? Did you do it? You didn't do it
I think
yet.
I'm on
It's
unit
like
2.
I think it's the longer
it kind
part
of
the certification.
Yeah.
It's the longest one.
I'm on unit 2.
But
for sure.
it kind of talks about that a little bit. How
No, my face was actually just disgust.
Okay, all right. I thought you're looking at me like, huh?
No, my face
That's
was
in
disgust.
there. It's what it's looking at are these things again: bullying, not just between students, but coaches and students, and how a coach may treat somebody different to get a response. Or I know that if I isolate them, they're gonna be like, "No, but coach, all right," and then they may get something that they want, good or bad. So I think it opens your eyes and it makes you have that conversation. And then again, the concussion course is just smart. You were in a striking discipline. I know for jiu-jitsu, after I started this at my gym, after I got the coaches and everybody was going through the process, we literally had I got there early. We're during the kids class. Coaches and two kids, there were, 2 sets of kids rolling and one kid from each roll, they hit each other's head. And again, somebody goes, "Well, at least we got the concussion course." They were okay, but they were looked at, they're okay. It wasn't that bad. And we moved on. But it's those little things. It's like, oh, they did do they got through the course. Like, we know that they have to go through the course because it'll give us, it'll tell us when they're done. But, right, those little things have gotten the conversation started. So, people just us putting it out in the ether, like, hey, people should be asking about background checks. I had a message on Instagram the other day. It says, hey, can you vet this school that I'm looking at? And I'm like, that's not what we do, right? They have to, opt in. I go, but I will tell you, make sure that whatever schools you're going to, ask them if they're doing at very least background checks. And, just in a conversation there on Instagram, but definitely I would, love for them to say, hey, do you have all these, go down this list of 8 things, but at very least background checks, and not just on the coaches, but on the staff. And can you show me that? Can you prove that you have done that? Mm-hmm. And we can prove that, and we save the background checks.
I cannot wait to get my Academy Safe sticker on my window.
Yeah,
I talked to Coach B from the grounds, and like he sent me a video of their tour, and he has like a 2-minute highlight, just like, this is our Academy Safe sticker. What this signifies is this ... And I was like, as a business owner, and now as a parent, I'm just like, yeah. We need that big time.
And one thing that I don't get to say a lot here is, we have on our listing page, it'll also say at the bottom, it says, if there is a coach at your academy that's not listed here. And we probably have to modify that to say over 18, because we're not going to do background checks on children. So once they're 18, they need to get a background check. Yeah, well, they won't do a background check. Yeah, the Safe Sport won't do a background, or Sports Engine won't do a background check on anyone under 18. So we have that limit. But we do, we're asking the community, as this grows, we're asking the community to kind of like, either the honor system or, hey, report. If you're a parent and you don't see a coach here, just let us know. It's a simple fix. Like, hey, maybe you hired somebody and you don't remember to tell us, or Academy Safe is the last thing on your mind. You're getting a new, you're training somebody new, but we need to get that person on the platform as well to maintain the accreditation. And it is every year. We're going to be looking at you every single year. Can things slip through the cracks? Absolutely.
Well, we can't predict the future.
And we can't predict the future.
We can't predict the future, but what we can do is we can kind of estimate the future based off of previous behaviors. So if somebody already has a conviction, we could at least tell people that they have that.
Yeah.
Can we tell if they're going to do that in the future? Obviously, you cannot. And like you said, we can't predict all the actions and behaviors. But what we can do is we can tell you straight up, this gym actually is trying. This gym is not. It's very simple. And if a gym is not wanting background checks, the real question for the consumer is why? Yeah. Because just because you got your background check, it doesn't mean that they can't hire you. That's still up to them. If you have a theft charge when you were 18 years old, is the gym still going to hire you? They probably will. If you're 40 with no other convictions, they're probably not going to care. And if the consumer goes, I don't feel comfortable with that, they have that right. Yeah. They, as a consumer, should have that right. And if you as a gym owner go, well, all these consumers are not lining up at my door anymore because they keep finding out about Steve's petty theft crime, maybe fire Steve. That's your right.
Where the argument, again, don't get us a lot, but people have commented or said things. Not catching everyone with a background check is not an argument for not doing background checks.
Yeah.
I mean, if someone hasn't been arrested, then
it's an extra filter. Now, if you are somebody who's done something wrong and you're looking for a job, and that school does background checks, you're probably not going to apply there.
Exactly.
Now, I know lots of companies do background checks. Maybe they do drug testing, things like that. Drug testing a little less these days, but they do background checks on just because you're going to be in close proximity to other people, and they want to catch, criminals and make sure that we don't bring them into the fold. Right? We're talking about your children. We're talking about your wives. We're talking about men. Again, with jiu-jitsu specifically, with this statement, we're rolling around on top with your children, with your wives. These are men and coaches and other students that are rolling around. Wouldn't you want to know? To go even a step further, was it you that told me that the Gracies, Henner and Huron, don't they do background checks on the students as well?
So they don't do background checks, but what they do, I like, which I had never heard of before, which I think is genius. They'll actually run everybody who comes into their facility through a sex offender registry.
Okay.
So if they are a registered sex offender, Henner will know, and they will kick you out just like that. Which,
that's a great idea for academies.
That was a thought I was having. It's great that we can, background check our coaching staff, but in reality, that's probably 2 to 5 people in any given gym.
Yeah.
But you got 100, 200 people on the mats.
Sure.
Now, it's a different relationship.
They're not in a position of power,
position of
which
power
usually
is
winds
the
up.
most important part, because the position of power, like any other cult, if you walk into like a religion, and we've talked about this many times, like there are already set rules and standards of who's in charge, how you act, what your behavior can be. Martial arts is very specific about that, from what you can wear, how you address people, all that. So you've already segmented these people as you're this group and they're this group. And as soon as you walk in, this is coaching staff, these are students. And so just like any other business, how your employees talk to your consumer is very different than how consumers talk to consumers. If you have 2 people at a McDonald's arguing, the McDonald's employee does not care. The manager does not care. As long as it doesn't cause a big ruckus, y'all can talk to each other however you want. But take that same conversation and have somebody behind the counter talking to a customer like that. The manager's going to walk over and put the kibosh on it. Like, yo, you can't talk to them like that, or that could be your job. Well, it's the same thing here. That power dynamic is the biggest obstacle that we have to get over as instructors, is because you're already in a position of power. They're already coming to you for advice. They're already looking and viewing you as a mentor, but also you can beat them up. That's why they're paying you. Like, well, I can't beat you up, so I'm going to pay you to learn how to beat people up. And if they start beating you up, usually they go somewhere else.
So let's talk about some of the other things. So those were the 3 top line items. We've talked many times about defibrillators on premises. I mean, who could make an argument for not having a life-saving device on the wall?
Like, the only argument I've seen about defibrillators is their cost. But that's why we did a lot of research, and we found not only the state-of-the-art defibrillator, but we also found one that is idiot-proof. Like, it is idiot-proof. Like other defibrillators out there on the market, you have to have certain pads that go on adults, and if you put it on a child, they won't work at all. If you put, like, certain pads on that are meant for children on an adult, it won't provide the proper amount of voltage to do its job. But the defibrillator company that we got a hold of not only is cheaper than everybody else, but it's the state-of-the-art one. It's the same one the NFL uses. It's insane how technology has advanced.
And that's a Vive. We're working with the Vive. You can see them on our website as well. We did the CPR, first aid, AED certification together. So again, smart. Know how to revive somebody, know how to take care of somebody if they get a boo-boo, and we know how to use the defibrillator. I now know how to use my defibrillator in my gym. That was a big thing. It's just like, there are defibrillators everywhere. I live in a building, there's a defibrillator like on every floor. There's one in the gym, there's one by the elevator. It's like, I was like, this is amazing. As somebody who had a heart attack, I'm like, this is great. And then I go, wow, not only am I worried about somebody that doesn't know how to use it on me, I don't know how to use this. I don't know. I know it's supposed to be like you press a button, it tells you what to do. But in the moment, in the moment, you don't really know what's like. You know, a 50-year-old, 60-year-old woman is going to be like, her husband pass out. It's going to be like, she's probably not even thinking about the defibrillator. No. Like, we know to be like, call 911, grab the defibrillator around the corner there or on the wall, right? Like, we just understanding and knowing, like, that's what you should be doing. Okay, wait a minute. My husband just passed out. Dial 911, put the phone down, no CPR, know what I'm doing, look around, see if there's an AD. And if I have any help, tell somebody to do those things for me, right?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like, oh, I would know what to do. No, you wouldn't. When the adrenaline kicks in and it's a family member, or it's just like, oh my God, you start to panic. What would you really do? And just being in the situation and just practicing and learning, I think it puts you in a better headspace. Like, yeah, I can handle that. I could do that. I wouldn't have thought to, all right, I got to check, knowing to check the breathing. Is he breathing? Is he not? Yeah.
Hold the jaw.
But like looking at the chest.
It was a great class. Honestly, I've been in combat sports for 24 years. I was a resident assistant at my university for that period. Never had a first aid CPR AED course. The fact that I'm working, like I work with people's health. I'm a professional cut man. Like I'm dealing with blood. Never had a CPR course. Never had a first aid course. So when I was taking it, is a lot of it kind of common sense? Sure. There's some really in detail stuff, chest compressions, breathing, head position, blocking off airflow. How is this not like a general part of, I should have learned how to do this when I was collecting carts for Kmart at 14. Because where do people pass out? At least in Florida, it's hot outside.
Yeah.
People passed out in our parking lot. Like, shouldn't this just be part of onboarding? Knowing how to like take care of your coworkers and or clients?
Absolutely. It should be.
Especially in martial arts. Yeah. We're going to be physical.
We're trying to hurt each other.
People are going to get hurt. Like fingers get broken, especially in the gi. Orbital bone. A buddy got he got kicked in the face. He was a brown belt rolling with a brand new white belt. White belt panicked, up kicked him in the middle of a jiu-jitsu roll, shattered his orbital bone. Like broken noses. My nose doesn't even look at the same direction I do anymore. But like those little basic things go a long way. And to add to that, like the CPR first aid certification goes right hand in hand with the defibrillator, because you go through those steps. Like the person passed out. Are they breathing? Oh shit, their heart isn't pumping anymore. This is a problem. But the other cool part about the Avive thing is if you're a franchiser, like, or a school owner who owns multiple schools, you can actually look on their website and you can see low battery at this location. Oh, our defibrillator, what's the nearest defibrillator to us with the app, which is amazing. So if you just have the Avive app and you can go, we're out and about and we don't happen to have our defibrillator with us, where's the closest one? And it'll tell you, it's like right there. It'll keep their vital signs. So like whatever's happening with their body, it actually monitors it. So by the time the ambulance arrives, the paramedics will know what's happened to you. It gives them like a printout of the thing. It's incredible technology.
Yeah. So let's talk about, we'll run down the last three items. I do want to get into the questions that we got for you. So the last three items on our list of 8, right? Security cameras, that kind of speaks for itself, right?
Common sense.
See, but security cameras, it's not just about, protecting the students. It's also about protecting the gym owner. Somebody could say that something happened that didn't happen, and it can be very clear on a security camera, right? So that's kind of a no-brainer. Verification, and I know this is near and dear to your heart, verification of the owner, coaches, or staff's belt rank and or lineage, right? Can you teach what you say you know? For jiu-jitsu, we've, there are websites out there, like we've used Belt Checker to check on people. We're calling people, we're emailing coaches, we're getting pictures of, we're getting the certification certificate. And if it's, it's easier when it's a high-level guy and it's just like, famous jiu-jitsu black belt awarding a black belt to somebody else and it's literally tying it around. You know what? That's probably enough proof for us.
That's what mine were.
Yeah, that's how it usually goes.
So, but there are, we've talked about like Sambo and stuff from like Eastern Europe, and they're like, we don't have belt promotions, or I don't have a picture
but they have
of my promotion. Structure. Yeah. There's structure. There's usually something. Most of the people that have come on have if they have something like Sambo, they've also had a jiu-jitsu black belt or a brown belt, all right? So we can verify something and at least clear that, one of their disciplines. But we're learning how to work with and figure out, like, okay, we still need this, or we need this, or we need the contact. And then last but not least is the insurance. Is the business insurance, which when somebody first told me to do this, you need to check business insurance. I was just like, convince me. Like, what? Okay, makes sense. We just come off of that big case with where Henner and Clark Racy were on either side of They were the expert witnesses. The young man who got, a $49 million
he wound up getting his neck broken.
Yeah.
He wound up paralyzing him for a pretty long period of time. He's never recovered fully from it either. He got pretty messed up.
I heard he climbed Everest.
Yeah, well,
they did a
funny way to put it.
Okay.
Because he has like a harness. And the harness is like, if you've ever had, no offense to this guy, I'm not trying to downplay his injury or anything, but if you've ever had like a dog that is like barely standing, they have like these harnesses with like a handle on the back. That's kind of how he climbed it.
I really thought you were going to bring up Master Blaster.
Oh, no.
From the Thunderdome.
Just put him on your back,
Who run Bartertown?
No, but like he has all kinds of medical issues that will never be fixed, like I think. He has incontinence. I think he, even with like pills, I don't think he can ever be aroused anymore. Like his life is not the same.
Wow.
And so like with all the injuries that he has, and like he actually made a documentary about the climb. And even that, like he would climb, but he was being like helped. Like they walked him up that. And, he'd have to take breaks for like leg spasms and stuff.
Imagine that guy if that school didn't have it, he'd definitely be closed forever. The student might not have had anybody to sue. It's the insurance company paying this out, not the academy owner. He had the insurance
That's
company.
a tricky thing about that story, because there's a lot of details in there, but I think that ultimately the injuries outweighed what the insurance could have actually paid for, and so that's where the lawsuit comes in, and it's complicated. But injuries happen all the time. Somebody does an arm bar a little too quick, like white belts especially. White belts love to just injure each other for giggles because they don't have control yet. You know, if you're doing leg locks, I mean, there's a good chance that you're going to shatter somebody's knee or you're going to mess up somebody's ankle. You know, even just something as simple as like a rear naked choke. You know, that's everybody does that, right? But like, imagine doing like a rear naked choke on somebody standing, and then all of a sudden they fall, and then they hit their head on the mat, and maybe now they have a concussion because of that or whatever. Like, you know, you can get sued at any time in a martial arts studio.
So number one, insurance. Yes, a lot of academy owners haven't had it when they started working with us, and they've gotten it because we're like, you have to give us your. I let it lapse, or this and that.
Some stuff
and
you
so
might
people
not
got
know.
it. So wait, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I don't think it caught me on camera, but I started to laugh because number one, I started to think about the video that I was telling you guys about.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then I look over and Christian is eating a chocolate bar, like very seductively, and looking at me. Did you know? Nobody caught that? He looked right into my eyes and started to
Look into my eyes.
So if you heard me giggling, that's why. We were talking about business insurance, and I'm over here giggling.
Concussion. His arm's broken. His knee.
Hey, we definitely need a camera on Christian. We need a camera on Christian, but we need the button to like
Yeah. So we can put
switch.
him on.
Yeah, when we want to get him
he's
on
like-
camera. Yeah. Right. So those are the 8 things that we're doing for Academy. So those are the things that we're checking now. There, could we do more? There are probably some things that we're gonna talk about this at the next board meeting. Is like, okay, now they're members, and we have to talk about like things like kind of like rules of the road or like a code of conduct that we want our members to have. So that might have other like just the basics of like. We're going to have them sign off on a code of conduct that not only says they're going to maintain these things, but we might be able to line item some other things that we think are good practices, but aren't necessarily things that we can check unless you're there every day.
Yeah,
so I'm going to talk to you guys about that at the
it
next
is
board
tricky
meeting.
because there are definitely things that could happen on that list, like your previous that we had talked about, but not you yourself, but where you
My
were training,
coach, yeah.
what had happened. There are definitely some things that could be ethically questionable that could still unfortunately fly through what we've set up so far, but we're still in the birthing stages of this. And for something that's been around since the dawn of time, no one seems to have really made a real true push to try to make sure that it's maintained some type of integrity. And because of that, it seems to have gone off the rails to where I have an entire job, 9 to 5, all the time. Actually, it's like a 24/7 job because it's all around the world. My entire career is based off of having to call out people who have done some really evil shit, and most of that could be handled if they just go through some basic like, hey, this is Academy Safe, and eventually, what I'd love is if Academy Safe puts McDojoLife out of business. That'd be the greatest day of my life.
Yeah, don't bet on
So, question.
Now, I want to tell you, you're going to be. You'll probably be, if you get through this, you're in a race for the first South Florida fully accredited academy with my academy, who's almost done, but we have a couple of stragglers there that haven't gotten their courses done. And so you will be announced. That person that will be announced as the very first. Are you considered South Florida, even though you're up there? Okay, so
I think
South
once
Florida,
you go
right?
north of like Jupiter,
West Palm Beach,
then
and
you're out
okay.
of South Florida.
So you're in that race. But you'll definitely be the first in Palm Beach County, which is awesome, and I appreciate you doing it. And we just got your new coach, the last coach, just came on and is getting everything done. So, but you guys are like in that race, so you could be announced as the first.
The first.
Going back, let me just say this. I'll let you come back to your thought. The Leclercs, we've had people have reached out. We've had the biggest concentration of academies that have either reached out or have begun like the process of signing up in New York because of that story. So that has helped with memberships. So that's been if something positive has come out about that, it's academies in the area going, we need background checks. Besides the fact that the state of New York is like legislation has been introduced or it's been floated to like have background checks for all aftercare. Martial arts included, but any aftercare like you have to have, which surprisingly enough, like that doesn't.
Blows my mind.
It's not happening now, but hopefully, if that legislation passes, we're going to be right there going, sure, come on in, because you could just go do a background check and say you did a background check, or you can come do the background check, probably spend as much as you would, be a member of our site, get promoted, have a listing page, have a place where you can add and remove coaches. Get a sticker for the window that says what you're doing, be able to do what you said, explain to users or to members students and members that, look, we do this thing, and you'll see the date that it's good from every single year. And I will have a new sticker either over it or right next to it and show you that we're committed to these safety protocols. I think that's a big thing. So it's not just like, again, with IBJJF, go, great, you did that, but it's just the coach or just the owner. Great, you did the background check, but what else did you get with that? We had a guy put a negative review on Facebook,
for
not
Academy
a member,
Safe?
for Academy Safe. And it was just like, he obviously didn't look at the website. He just said, hey, why pay for this when you could do like a free background check? And he says the name of something or other. And I was like, listen, I understand, appreciate the feedback, but we also do these 8 things. And then everything I just said, we're going to promote, you're going to get a listing page. Yeah. And I just answered it like that. And look, I'm like, thank you for leaving that negative review, because it gave me a chance to explain in depth in a comment.
Wrong.
Yeah, how you're wrong.
How you're a big stupid face.
So go ahead. You had a thought there. I cut you off. My apologies.
A couple things. One, as a gym owner, some things that I would like to see from Academy's face.
Oh, cool. Let me write this down.
Yeah. A trifold.
Okay.
A booklet, so that we can give them to parents and be like, this is what Academy Safe is. You can reference this back. A lot of gyms have a trifold of like their general rules and such.
You're being sarcastic. Now you're actually going to write it down.
Yeah. I have good ideas. I've got a couple degrees. I went to school. I have good ideas. Second, hey,
pass those along.
Look at that.
Wham.
It's not a trifold.
If you guys didn't know about this, boom. Right here.
And on the back it has like what's going on with Academy Safe, what we do, and all that good stuff. So.
Perfect. Like a trifold, you can get a little more in depth. You can actually have questionnaires and such. Secondly, you do a fantastic job of creating content, even like flyer posts. Like I'd figure if you had a small variety, 5 or 6 different graphics, that when a school becomes Academy Safe, they go, here's these JPEGs. So you have something that you can post once every other week, once a month, just reminding your people, hey, we are Academy Safe. We are this. This is what we provide. I use my Instagram a lot for evergreen content and advertising.
One of the things that we do once you become a member, which it hasn't been explained, so I will. You're right that letting people know what's coming.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit of a bonus. It wasn't like this is going to be standard protocol, but it probably will because it's one of the things that we want to do, and I keep on talking about promoting. So number one, the graphic that we give you for the window, we'll also give that to you as a PNG to add to any of your own posting. That's number one. Number two is we will do, really that's 1 and 2.
Which some of the gyms do
Number
already.
3, they're doing it already. So some people, we encourage you to add that PNG to your website, link it to us. It shows the dates that it's good for. So you can also promote it on your website like Lionheart BJJ, our very first accredited academy, did. We will create social media posts that will appear on our page, but we also give them to you. They're not like directly from us. So we will post a few of them. We'll almost always create 5, and I'm going to give you all of them to post. We'll invite you to collab, but we'll also give you all of those. So now you're going to have 5 professionally designed graphics that show your logo, our logo, a little information about what's done, and then have your accreditation sticker on there. So that's all stuff that's going to come to you. So not a trifold, but a postcard. We're going to do graphics. I know one of the things that we'll do on the website, we have a blog and a media section. We do have that for press releases and our blogs, but I do want to have a standard like login with media on the other side that you guys can pull down. And that's something that as we grow, a lot of this stuff, it costs money, it costs time. So as we raise money and as we get more members, we're able to do some of these things. We just got our phone number.
Yeah. So to simplify,
the phone number was we shared the number with my marketing company for the first 6-7 months, and I wound up doing a Google number for $10. I was waiting to do like a Ring Central number because that's what I have for my company, and it was just like it's a little expensive, and they want this up front. If you want the special, you got to pay for the year. And then I'm like, keep on getting Google Voice. I'm like, Google Voice $10 a month. Fucking that's it. So anyway, but I'm very careful about how we spend the money. So there's certain things that cost a little bit of money and our time, but we've had a very consistent flow. We had a mark. I'm not going to say what the mark is, but we had a mark of like what we wanted to reach. We've reached that.
Nice.
We're close to that, but I think we'll probably exceed that by the next meeting next week.
Yes.
We just had like a sign up this morning. Like it's consistent. It's just like the coach comes through, and once the coach comes through, then it's boom, 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 the staff. And then it's another coach, and then it's boom, 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 boom. The staff.
I think every time I do a story, which is unfortunate, that's how this works.
Yeah.
But every time I do a story of someone who did something nefarious in the industry, we pretty much get signups every
We wind up getting let's like boom, 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 boom.
which is great because that goes to show the public like these gyms actually give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, should be the easiest standard. Just care about your students.
Continue. What else do you? This is a good time to put on my sunglasses because I got what you need.
So when I started the process, my daughter's also going into kindergarten. So I went to a kindergarten kickoff. I got to meet the principals, then PTA, and a lot of schools make their money in their kids programs. Very new for me. I've been an adults-based gym for my entirety of 10 years, and I'm now making a really strong push towards my kids program.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to become a partner in education, and I'm finding out that not only do you need a background check, but you need a DCS level 2 background check.
Federal.
Yeah. Do you guys have access to run those?
So our check is local and federal. The abbreviation that you use, I can't say that I'm familiar with that.
Department of
abbreviation.
Child Services?
Oh, so probably not. But
It's a federal
you're
background
talking
check,
about
so-
it is a local and federal background check.
Okay.
We can go as far. It's very specific. I'm going to give you all of these because I have a lot more of these.
I'm happy to pass them around.
So, background check. So we can do background checks, again, federal and local here in the States. We can do them in Canada. And we have a process, especially for jiu-jitsu. Again, I'm a jiu-jitsu practitioner, so I know this. And we're strongest in that area because jiu-jitsu, the rest of the board is all jiu-jitsu. Rob is the one member of the board who is ranks in multiple disciplines. But we're also conscious and there are 6 packages that you can buy. Owner, U.S. owner, U.S. staff member or coach. Canadian owner, Canadian staff member or coach. And then international owner, international coach. And what do those mean? If you have lived outside of the U.S. in the past 7 years for 6 months or more, you have to do the international background check, right? So, again, I'm going to use Brazil because that's where most of our coaches come from when they come from out of the country. If you have lived in Brazil all your life and you move here, you have to do and it's within, again, those 7 years, and whether or not you've gone back under 7 years, you've got to do the international check now. It's more expensive, but it's available. We considered that.
Yeah.
If you come here and you live here for 7 years and you have not gone back to live for a period of 6 months or more, you can do the U.S. owner or coach. So we've considered all those things. We'll do more. We can. I haven't discussed with the board, but I have spoken to companies that do background checks. I'm aware of other background check companies and the different things that they could do. I won't say that we've had any problems with this, but if we were to have a problem with a specific individual at the academy's cost, we can have an investigator dive in further into a background check. So I have a company that's available for that. We haven't had to even think about it yet,
Not yet.
but it's available. So there are tools at our disposal that are going to help us do some things that we can really, at the end of the day, it's about helping the academy, the academy and the martial arts world.
So I have done my background check. How can I get a copy of it from Academy Safe or from the Sports Engine
portal,
to
right?
then present?
I believe you're the first person to ask for it. I believe in your membership, I can walk you through where to go. I know that I can get it and I can absolutely deliver it to you. I don't know if the user can download it. I believe you can.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on your portal.
So under the membership section.
I haven't dug all that deep.
Yeah,
it's a different, the place where you've gone to get your certifications, now there's a different place to go in once you're there. So if you go to your membership, you can click on your membership and go. I will check because I've done mine, so I can go in as myself as a user, or I'm the admin. So I have always 2 windows open. Gotcha. I can go in as a user, a member of Academy Safe, and I can look and see if I can download it and then show you how to do it. I had figured the only time somebody was going to ask me for it is when they failed.
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
And we can give it to them, and they can make a case with the background check company. We're not doing it for you. We can put you in touch with the background company, and you can plead your case and say, hey, this was expunged, this was this, I had a client do this with a Google background check where he had 3 cases come up where he had gotten sued during COVID, just gotten sued for bad practices, but it was just settled. And this one, I couldn't do the work until after COVID. And then we did the work, right? Literally, I couldn't go out. I couldn't get, we were in lockdown. We just literally couldn't finish the job. He wound up writing a letter and he addressed each one, and then they cleared him. So like there's a, the background check companies, most of them will have some type of, of process for you to, to explain, like either that's wrong. I'm one of 3 Milton campuses in Florida. My dad, I have a cousin, all named Milton campus with no middle name. So like, what if somehow I got confused with somebody else? Somebody else did something bad,
that
right?
does happen.
I know it does. Like, I mean, it's happened with credit with my dad's like, motherfucker, you're on my credit. So there are other things. Go ahead. Did you have any other questions?
I was going to say, because for the graphics, because you said you were designing them for the gyms, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever think to save work hours, create a Canva file where they can throw their own logos? Like your
No,
logo
'cause
here, Bing, your picture here, Bing, and then the information is set and they can just change their background to their people?
Well, no, because my big thing is like making it unique for each gym. So literally like using a background image of your people, your logo, matching the colors and so on. Could we? Yes.
Yeah.
We're not there yet where we're getting so many requests that we couldn't do it unique. I really love to do it unique, show it to you. You ask me for some edits and then we can do it like that. Most of our designers are working in Photoshop.
Yeah.
Sometimes when our staff is designing something, they're doing it in Canva. Yeah. Somebody's like, I need a graphic really quick, then they do it in Canva. So again, things that we would do in the future. We will have a login media section where you as a member would now have a login to go and download that stuff. Postcards, trifolds, things like that, will absolutely print for you at no cost. We'll just always get you that stuff at no cost. The graphics, again, like I'm doing them when you sign on. I've told every single academy, if you need something else that relates to academies, I'm happy to do it for you. If it's promo or something like I could design is easy to do. If you needed me to print something for you that was unique for you, I'll give you the design. You can get it printed or the marketing company can print it for you. So that's what we're doing on that
So
stuff.
my last one, I know traditionally, especially traditional martial arts schools, and I'm starting to angle into it as I'm getting more involved with kids programs, banners on the wall that present values, morals, etc.
Yeah.
Why not have a graphic you've designed that has the tenets of Academy Safe? So that's one of those things that can go up behind the desk or by the front door.
We have that as well.
Okay.
Rob saw our pull-up banner that Flow and Roll puts up, has out at the IBJJF events that he attends to, ADCC. So he's out there, and we have that. I can print that, and like the design is done and has all 8 tenets. It has a QR code to check. So we have that again. That is something that, again, if I have to now print that,
no,
the cost associated becomes a little difficult.
If this is in size 8.5 by 11, 2.5 by 4, etc.
All of that stuff.
Take it. I can print it on Vista.
Yeah.
I can put it on my wall.
Yeah.
We're done.
We have that. I want to be able to. I do want to at a point. So every academy so far that's gotten accredited has gotten a T-shirt and a coffee mug.
Coffee mug's nice, though. I just got my coffee mug the other day. It was
Is it
dope.
similar to your black belt digital marketing
the ones that I get.
They're great mugs.
Same
Really,
company.
really good mugs.
So everyone gets the coach gets the accredited academy. The coach gets a T-shirt, a coffee mug, and we send them. I'll usually understand the size of the academy, but I'm going to send them at least 3 accreditation stickers. So one for the front window, very much in your face. Put that at the front door. One for your front desk sign-up area. And if you had like a back door, potentially, right, that people come in another door. And if you need any more, just let me know. And those are easy to print.
I think the most important part about the people who are coming on board with Academy Safe, especially at these beginning stages, they're showing that we as a community actually care. And being a part of that alone, even if they're just going through the process and they haven't gotten fully accredited yet, right? Just showing that there's a movement that we care more about our students than we do about our pocketbook. We care more about our students than we do about our ego. Like, we're not a community that has ever really tried to come together. Like, everything in martial arts is segregated. Like, karate people are doing karate things and taekwondo people are doing taekwondo things. But like, we can all agree shouldn't molest kids. Yeah. And so we should all agree that maybe we should do background checks. Yeah. Maybe we should care about safety.
As soon as this clears, I want to do like a marketing push based solely on the fact that we are an Academy Safe gym. So I wouldn't be surprised if I start hitting it pretty hard and you start seeing people from my area going, how do I do this?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And hopefully it won't be that. It won't be the like, well, I got to do this.
I got to spend some money.
Oh, wow.
This guy is
That's
spending
awesome.
money. Yeah.
I really want to do this. And I know that it's like that in the beginning for some, but there's also people that are like, man, this is awesome. Like,
it is.
The amount of
You
thank
can't be
yous that
against
I
it.
get.
There are people who
When
are
I-
against it, but
when
that's
we-
because they're pieces of garbage who
It's
don't
true.
who
Well-
have done horrible things. And like even the people who there are people out there who are like, I agree with a part of it, I don't agree with all of it. There are people who go, I agree with this part, but not that part. But there are people who have contacted me who are just solely against it, and for no real, true, logical reason.
The only question is, who have you touched?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
what are you hiding
look-
in this conversation? And again, we don't like for McDojoLife. I go after people who have done evil things. Academies say we don't do that. Academies say we're putting good studios on a pedestal. It's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
If you don't want to do this, you don't have to. But just be aware that we're going to keep pushing until the majority of gyms do. And that makes our community safer. It makes the martial arts industry safer. And it's going to make you stand out to the consumer and make the consumer ask you why you didn't
We
do
want to make this the norm, especially with the background check. We want all them to do all of these things. Imagine having to tell somebody like, you really should put in cameras to protect your business. Like, is that really something that you still need to hear? It's 2025.
Yeah.
But we gotta cut to some other stuff here. So I've been wearing these glasses for a little bit. Shout out to Leheal Optics. I don't think I'm just cool. Leheal Optics, awesome bamboo sunglasses. You can go to lehealoptics.com, use code, JJD. I'm always confused which ones have the percentage at the end. Code JJD on Leheal Optics. Huge supporters of the show and of Academy Safe. Also want to shout out Leheal Biogenix. I could take these.
Good people. Leheal's good people.
Have you been speaking to them?
Yeah, they're just cool people.
Yeah. Leheal Biogenix has 3 locations in Florida, in Lakeland, Brandon, South Tampa. I went to the Tampa location and did I tell you that? I got stem cells, right? I got
showed me
stem
that,
cell
yeah.
treatment. I got stem cell. I got a stem cell and exosome shot.
Yeah.
I did the red light therapy, and then they did a laser therapy that was like directly into. They worked on my back. There's certainly more that I need to get done. We concentrated on the back, so it's only week 1. I'm following like their diet, and I've got to stay off the mat for a little bit. I did go train, very light. Don't tell anybody. I went and don't tell Nathan.
Don't do it.
Don't tell Nathan.
Don't do it.
I went and I trained really light. I stretched at home. I did I just let some like guys attack me a little bit. Stayed on my back, stayed just kind of defensive. And then my coach was like, "Hey, let's roll." And I'm like, "I know that's gonna go. I know where that's gonna go." And I whispered in his ear, "I'm like, I had just had stem cells." Like, he's like, "What are you doing here? Get out of here!"
Because your coach has common sense.
I told him. I said, I pointed at this. I pointed at my head, and I said, I needed to just be here. I needed to come to a class and be on the mat because like the mental, so I'm missing that just even small.
You had a testosterone
release.
buildup.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get it
You need
out.
to. It clears the head. It clears the head. You go out of there. I mean, come on. We all know any martial arts class you leave, you're like, oh, thank you. Especially when you get to spar a little bit. But incredible team up there. Stacy was amazing. The owner, Stacy, was amazing. Walked me through the entire process. One of the nurses there walked me through like exactly what was going to happen. The nurse that actually wanted to doing the injections. Amazing experience. High hopes. I've been in knee, back, my elbows, and
Erectile
shoulders.
dysfunction.
Yeah, no, I got the TRT for that.
Hey.
I was originally going to go up for my shoulders, and then my back has just gotten so bad that I said, can we do my back? Let's do my back. So they've been incredible supporters. I also, if you guys see these are some of their products here that we have as well. The joint formula is something that they gave me when they first came aboard. So this one's empty here. I've got a full bottle at home, and then they've got the alpha lipoic acid. This is the one. Was it you that asked? This was Paul Geller was a guest on the show, and he had met with Gary Brecka.
Mm-hmm. That's one of those.
Gary Brecka just did another
One of those
podcast with Joe Rogan.
Right?
He said, I did a whole, like he met with him and did, I believe he did like the blood test and did the whole panels, and he goes over everything he's supposed to do. And he told them, take alpha lipoic acid. So I'm taking both of these from Leheal right now. And again, very happy with my experience with them so far. Early in the in the process to say, well, yeah, the stem cells worked or didn't work.
How long's it been now? A week? 2 weeks?
It's been Saturday will be 2 weeks.
Have you felt any differences in this moment?
So I actually had a pulled muscle. I was off of the mat the week before because I had pulled the muscle. Funny enough, at a massage therapy appointment where they also do like stretching. So he took my one leg, and like, this is my hip, like just kept it straight and pushed it. And probably at the point where I should have been like, hey, well, I let him go past that point of like, all right, let this guy stretch me. And I was limping for like a week before that. And they did not the red light therapy. They did a laser on my lower back and my butt. That pain was gone that day. I'm like, I have been limping and not like had pain just walking. Then now they have told me, they said they have fighters that come in and go, give me some of that red light, or not the red. There's red light therapy and there's laser therapy. Said, let me do some of that laser therapy. Like they come in when they get an injury just to do that.
After this guy stretched you out, you were limping until you got the red light therapy.
So then when I woke up the next day, why are you saying it like that? So it was.
So this man stretched you out.
I know he's okay.
And you were limping.
Yeah, well, how long exactly did he stretch you out?
Very funny. He stretched my leg. Very funny. Let's get it out. But yes.
Stop talking about our private time like that.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ben. So stretch my leg.
Okay.
Okay.
My butthole, no.
Your third leg?
My butthole is still looks like that. Looks like a little.
I didn't look.
Yeah.
I'm not looking.
You know.
Right here.
Eye contact is important when stretching.
Tight as can be. Moving on. So there's nothing else I want to say about that. So check them out at Leheal.com, Leheal.com. Mention the podcast. You get 20% off your first treatment. Remember that you do not need to be local. You don't even need to go there. You can set up a telemed visit. They can do, a video chat, talk to you about what you need, and you can even, they can send you like the BPC 157. I'm going to do in May. Going on a cruise, so I'm going to do it when I come back.
You're going to stack it with that TB 500?
I'm going to stack it with the TB 500. And yeah, hopefully those things together with the stem cell treatment, I'm going to,
You're going to be
see
37 again.
That'd be nice. 36 was when I can put my finger on 36 where I absolutely felt my body just slowly.
Oh, yeah.
That was the whoop.
Yeah.
As it was at 36.
Is that when you started TRT?
36 this is what happened when I was 36 years old at a club at the Hard Rock. Give us some sad music. I was at a club. It all happened together, and this was probably the start of it. I'm at a bar, single. I was at the bar talking to this young lady.
Sweet
she was
thing.
small. She was like really short. And I buy her a drink. And she's like, oh, how old are you? And I said 36. And she went, 36?
Yeah.
Oh, heartbreaker.
Yeah.
Ooh, you
a
a zaddy.
Now, I've definitely always looked younger than my age. So
Me too.
Yeah, I could tell. I mean, what are you, about 47, 48?
Actually. I don't want to talk about it.
Start crying on the
after
mic.
that, all
My life is so
downhill. All downhill from 36, where definitely things started to like noticeable changes in my body, metabolism.
Going through changes.
Going to the gym for eating the same stuff and going to the gym for the same amount of time and just like not putting on.
I remember when that happened to me. I think I was 4.5. Everything just started going down.
But I have big hopes for our relationship here with Leheal. So
yeah, it's going to be great.
We're going to go up and visit again. We went and we watched you commentate. I think we mentioned
you
that
came
last
to
episode.
Combat Night, Kissimmee.
And next week,
Mitchell's the man.
Mitchell's coming here next week. We're doing another Wednesday.
Doing it Wednesday.
We're doing another Wednesday shoot. That one is at 12.
11.
Is it 11?
I'd prefer to be 10.
No.
Just saying.
Yeah, 11. And yeah, we'll do some posting and ask.
And we're doing that as a pre-show for April 26th at Combat Night, Fort Lauderdale at Sway Nightclub.
we can have
Every
that out for
time
the
I want to
26th.
challenge like a fraud, like it gets to the conversation where they're like, "Oh, I'll beat you up." I'm like, "Please," and I like hit up Mitchell and I'm like, "Hey, Mitchell, just contact him and say I'm ready, and let's see if we can get the paperwork done."
Oh, that'd be
and
great.
Mitchell can tell you about this, but every time every time I ask him to do it, he does it like in a heartbeat.
It would be massive.
I would be so good, and
It would be massive.
I keep telling the frauds like I am down. Like I've been doing this for a long time.
We can
Like,
fight.
Yeah, I've done my time. I'm ready. So it's just funny how they think that they'll get to that line, and then I have Mitchell contact them, and the steam runs out their engine quick, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get paid. Damn it! We can both get paid.
Let's hit these questions now. I wanted to get to the sponsor stuff. Let's go to these questions. We had some interesting questions from listeners and probably mostly McDojo fans. So we had Liquid Smoke 6345 say, "What's your all-time fake martial arts fail?"
Oh man, all-time favorite fail is there's a video, you can find it online. It's my favorite fail anyway, where it's a Taekwondo demonstration and a guy I think has an apple on top of his head, and the dude jumps up and he spins in the air and he just throws this kick with everything he has and misses the apple completely and just clocks this dude on the side of the head, and the apple just kind of falls off the guy's head, and the guy takes it, but then he goes to walk away and he's almost knocked unconscious. It is such a good video. Every time I watch it 6 times. I'm like, that's so good. Love that one.
This one I just thought this was funny, so I included this. It says, "Which martial art is the most flatulent?"
Oh, that's jiu-jitsu. Hands down. You ever had a knee on belly incident? Everybody who's ever... Yeah.
When I realized there is an actual answer for this, I was just like, "Oh, why
yeah,
not
of course." You're chilling, you just had some enchiladas, and you're like, it's been hours. You think you're okay, right? You go to the open mat, and all of a sudden, a 350-pound dude just drops a knee on belly into your sternum, and then everything you've eaten for the last month just comes out in a gaseous form. That is jiu-jitsu, really. It's the heart of jiu-jitsu, really is.
Yeah, man. I've had it happen even just outside of a
worst
knee on
one.
belly. Just a good amount. Somebody mounts you and just drops that weight just in the right place, or tries to give you a mother's milk, and it's just like, oh.
I got this young killer that I trained. His name's Kurt, and I use him as my uke pretty regularly. So we're demonstrating stack defense to armbar. So I'm talking, he stacks and he drops his shoulder, and I fart right in this kid's ear, dead. And he's like, "Did you just?" And I'm like, "We're almost done. We'll do this later." Because I got my knees in my head. I'm fully stacked. I'm like, "I'm sorry," and I got. Man, my class today had to be 35 guys. It was just massive. And everyone's like, "It's too quiet." They're like, "Can we laugh at this? What's going to happen?" To this day, it must have been 3 years ago. And I still, every so often, he's like, "You remember when you farted in my ear?"
Have you ever had anybody poop on the mat just during training? Not in a fight, but just in training?
No. I have good poop martial arts stories, but not. The worst I've had was a 6-year-old pee on the mat.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a pretty substantial poop story.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I have 2. So the first time I ever taught a martial arts class, like karate, I was an assistant instructor, teenager, and then I think I may have been 16, 17. And my instructor comes in that day. He goes, "Are you ready?" And I go, "Ready for what?" All excited because I'm a moron. And he goes, "You're going to be teaching class by yourself today." And I was like,
"What?"
Okay. I was like, "What's the lesson plan?" He's like, "Just teach kicks." I was like, all right. So I have no lesson plan. I'm a teenage kid. Now I'm in charge of all these kids. So I'm teaching the class, right? And we had a free trial kid there. Free trial kid puts on his white uniform, right? First time ever.
I'm already having a hard time with this story.
And
I know it's going to be
white
bad.
Uniform.
So we start doing the warm-up, and the kid is into it, right? He's having a great time. He's doing all the warm-up stuff. But then we actually start working on technique, and I don't know because I'm monitoring all the kids, and we're working on round kicks. And he just sits on the floor. And he just stops being responsive. And so I walk over because I'm a teenager and never run a class before.
What's up, buddy?
So what do I do, right? So I pair all the kids off. Kids are mostly self-sustained at that point, except for this kid. So I walk over to him, and I'm like, "Hey, buddy," and he's non-responsive. So I'm like, all right. Well, I look over at the mom sitting off to the side of the mat. And I was like, "I don't know what to do here." She goes, "Just bring him over here." And rather than me being like, "Well, I don't know how to do that," I'm like, I go to grab his shoulder, I'm going to pick him up. This is a little kid. So I go to pick him up and walk him over there because the mom's giving me permission. As soon as I do, he wraps around my leg, Indian style around my leg, holding on, hugging my leg. So I'm like, I do that thing where you like walk with a kid on your leg, you know, so I limp over there. And all of a sudden I felt something warm on my leg. And I was like, did this kid just piss on my leg? I was like, he did that. And we're both wearing white gi pants. And like, they're not heavyweight gi pants. There is a difference. There's a difference. Like jiu-jitsu, heavyweight gi. Karate, lightweight gi. So like, I felt it on my leg. And I was like, he just pissed on my fucking leg. So I walk all the way over there, right? Oh my God. And then as soon as I get over to the mom, he like jumps up, turns and hugs the mom. Well, as soon as he jumps up, turns and hugs the mom, I noticed on his pants first, a brown streak all the way down his body. He didn't piss on me. He like watery shit all over himself and my leg. And I look down and it is just covering my white gi pants. I'm like, God damn. First class I ever taught by myself. First one.
Bro, I quit right now.
Never again.
All right, let's get to some of these other questions. As much as I'd love to continue talking.
Yeah,
about
I mean, I have another poop story later.
any updates on the documentary?
Yes. So
that's
have
from
Jocko.
West Coast _V.
Yeah, I get asked this question all the time. Unfortunately, documentaries are not like scripted shows. So like a scripted show, you script it, you film it, you're done. Documentaries kind of take on a life of their own.
Yeah.
And so we have Jocko Willink as an executive producer of the film. So we're really excited about that. And we're in the final stages of trying to get the rest of our funding. So the budget is like $780-something thousand to make the movie we want. Well, people are like, why don't you just ask Joe Rogan for the money? It doesn't work that way. Like, you just can't randomly say, can I have $1 million?
Joe, if you want to,
I was going to say, we have a camera right there.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. And like, even Jocko, like while Jocko is an executive producer, you know, he's helped with the project. Ultimately, it's something that you still have to try to do on your own. And so with the way Hollywood is and the way that budgeting is, this is a very difficult thing to get across the finish line to make what we want. And I will say this, we did have a company, 2 companies, but one company specifically say, we'll give you the full ride. They were like, we'll pay for everything, but you have to give up creative control and you have to give up financial control. And by the way, none of your team is actually going to be working on this project.
Absolutely not.
And so I was like, let me get this straight. I give up the entire project. I hand it over to you. You're going to give me a stack of cash. You're going to make it under my banner, using my company name, under the idea that we made this film. I'm going to have to be the one to go on these podcasts. I'm going to have to be the one on the shows and put my name on it, but I wouldn't have a hand in it. You're going to fire my entire team, including my entertainment lawyer, which you're not going to fire
including
him.
yourself.
Yeah, like, and then what? Like, what do I get out of that? And then when we said no, they were like, I'll give you an $80,000 signing bonus, like just to me. And I was like, but you're still going to fire my team. And like, we still wouldn't make the movie we want.
Yeah,
and I was like, as much as I would have loved to have that money, I'm not going to do that. So that was a year of negotiation. Now, keep in mind that we're trying to get this thing funded, right? That's a year of back and forth negotiation. It's not just like, hey, let's have a meeting next week. That's not how this works. Like, we say, hey, we'd like to have a meeting. They're like, all right, well, our next opening is like 4 months from now. We're like, what? They're like, yeah, we're going to review it with our team internally and we'll meet back with you in 4 months. And then when they say that, they don't even give you a date. There's like 4 months. Like, no specific time or date. We'll get back with you. And then they do get back with you like 4 months from now. And they're like, how about 3 weeks from now? So like the process is not like this clean cut, let's work. Like even, you know, I won't say that, but it's difficult. It's not easy. But anyway, we're in the final stages of trying to get the funding. So we're in a good spot.
That's all. And Jocko putting his name on it
that was a huge thing. You know,
it's massive.
Our sound guy has won 14 Emmys, which is incredible. Our director has won an Emmy. For,
and the topic of the documentary is
martial arts
bullshit
cults.
martial arts card.
Yeah.
Bullshit martial arts facilities or cults specifically.
Cults. Specifically, we're trying to do it about cults. Like one of the main people that we talked about centering it around is a guy named James Heydrich. And James Heydrich is probably one of the most famous martial arts frauds ever. And in his heyday, he was considered the world's greatest psychic. And he got debunked by the amazing Randy live on national television.
I think I saw that.
Like he was moving pages with his mind, and Randy walked out there and he was like, now do it, but don't move around these like packaging peanuts. And the guy was like, I can't, the static electricity and the lights, and I can't do it. It's like, because you're a fraud and you got called out. Well, that guy's in a state mental hospital. And so he probably is not getting out. But we got to interview him. And he's one of the only frauds.
In the hospital or before he was in the hospital?
In the hospital.
In the hospital.
Even better.
Well, he had nothing better to do.
That hospital that he's in, that mental institution is like 75% psychotics. So like it's like the Arkham Asylum of like mental hospitals. And when you like look at the people that are in there, they have so many high profile people that there are camera crews in and out of there all the time. And so when we asked, it was the fastest I'd ever had any government agency respond to me. Like, we sent him an email, and that day I got an email back. Yeah, sure, we can make that happen. When? Does next week work for you? I'm like, what?
Wow.
I didn't even expect you to answer me for like a month.
Yeah.
But they just happen all the time. So
Why is he in there?
he
share his diagnosis?
Yeah, he basically was trying to cirque the system. And so he was like, well, if I just take this insanity plea, maybe I can get out of jail. Not understanding that the way the system works is now he's a ward of the state. So like until they deem him mentally stable enough to be back out into the world, he kind of gave himself a life sentence by trying to play the crazy card. So, but it was for molesting kids.
It was from molesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so, but of course, when
I mean, at least he's alive. In jail, he would be dead.
Yeah, that's true. Because if he was in a regular prison, but the thing about him is like Heydrich is a very strange individual, not just because of the crazy part, but like he studied magic a lot. So he actually was put away in prison. I think he escaped 3 times from regular prison.
No shit.
Yeah, like he's a legit magician.
Did he just go under the blanket? And
No, like I think one of the times I think they had like ceiling tiles like this in this jail cell, so he was able to like go up through the ceiling tiles and tunnel his way out. Like he's one of those people that didn't get past like elementary school, but he's actually like the way his mind works is very diabolical. So, but he is one of the only people. Actually, he is the only fraud I've ever covered that admitted to being a fraud. So we're using him as a profiler. We're like, well, how did you do this? Like, how did you manipulate people? How would you pick a victim? And so he's been very helpful in helping us understand how cult leaders operate cults. Yeah. It's he knows that job.
Wow,
that guy can run a cult.
Damn.
All right, we have to move to the last question because we're running out of time. But I'm going to my favorite question.
Okay.
Is Steven Seagal full of shit?
I mean, a couple things about Seagal. Did he practice Aikido? Is he somebody that is an Aikido, black belt? Absolutely, he is, 100%. Is Steven Seagal a small guy? Absolutely not. Seagal is a big dude. So when people like 135 pounds who are blue belts talk about beating up Seagal, I'm like, you probably won't. Like, just based off the fact that he's like 200 pounds bigger than you. Like, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And, like, can he throw a punch? Can he throw a kick? Well, anybody off the street can throw one. And he has trained martial arts. He has worked with some people, or at least he claims to have taught some people who are legitimate martial artists. So if I had to guess, can Seagal throw a basic jab, a basic cross, and a basic front kick? The answer is yes. Can he probably throw somebody? Absolutely. Can he wrist lock the shit out of you? We know that undoubtedly because he's an Aikido guy.
Yeah.
Would he last more than like a minute in a fight? Probably not, because of his cardio and because he doesn't seem to take care of himself physically. So
his hair looks great though.
Yeah, which the part that got penciled in. But yeah, like, is he legitimate? I mean, I can call him somebody who has a black belt in Aikido. Like, he did do that.
He has a legit accolade in Aikido. He's a master of sport recognized by Russia, and he's the only non-Japanese to teach in the Aikido center of
and
Japan.
I mean, his first 4 movies were dope.
Under Siege was the first time I saw boobs. It was
Man,
great.
thanks for that scene. Under Siege.
It was fabulous.
We can thank Tommy Lee Jones for that too. I'm sure he had a hand in it. He's like, I'll be in this movie, but somebody's got to pop out a cake naked.
Let's do this.
They were like sold. But yeah, like ultimately it's like 50-50. Is he a martial artist who has a black belt? Yes. Is he somebody who's been brought up on rape accusations multiple times?
I
Absolutely.
did not know
too?
about that
Seagal?
at all. Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Is his guitar playing better than mine? Yes. Is it good? No. Like, but the Punani song is hilarious to me. So we got to give him a pass just for that, I
The
guess.
Punani song?
Oh, man. Y'all
What
got to
am I
research your
missing?
This
Seagal,
guy doesn't know
man.
about the Punani song.
Do you know about the Punani song?
I've heard it. I wouldn't say I've listened to it, but I've heard it.
Well, what is
Did
this?
you hear the Gene LaBelle story? So, like, apparently he was notoriously bad to his stuntmen and would, like, fight them. And apparently Gene LaBelle worked in Hollywood as a stuntman and was like, I'll take you up on that. And apparently choked him out and he pissed himself. And Gene LaBelle stopped working in Hollywood.
Can't hear.
This is for Seagal.
Is that him singing? Is that who's the
That's
artist?
Steven
Who's the
Seagal?
actual artist?
Seagal.
It's him because it sounds like somebody else's voice, and then he chimes in. At
Yeah,
the
girl.
End. How long ago was this song?
I mean, this song is at least 16 years
What's
old.
the name of the song?
It's called Strut.
Strut, not the
Strut.
Punani song.
Well, I call it the Punani
Punani.
song because that's what's funny.
That's what he said. He
Yeah,
said
like, of course you want the Punani. Clearly you do. There's multiple rape accusations, brother. We know you want the Punani. You didn't have to write a song about it, all right? We're aware,
I mean,
all right?
there's nothing better. There's no better way to
The
finish an
irony
episode.
of that song.
There's
man.
no better way.
I
What
think
were
he
you
got
putting up there,
accused by
Christian?
Jenny
The
McCarthy
album
as
cover.
well. Like,
Oh,
this
let me
isn't-
see the album cover.
Oh, look at him.
Oh, look at him.
I do believe if I remember correctly, like, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he has like one of the biggest blues guitar collections of all time.
Really?
Like, he spent a lot of money on guitars. Not on a lot of money on lessons, but
And
a lot of
turquoise
money on
rings.
guitars.
I like how he's an Asian, Native American,
Is he?
Eskimo. Like, yeah, whatever role he's
says-
played in a movie, he's just like, I've always been a Native American. Oh, you didn't know that my mother was 2/3 Eskimo. Like, yeah.
He's also Italian, Jewish, Irish.
And a deputy.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch his show
Yes,
where
we
he was
did.
a cop in
What was it
Louisiana?
called?
Lawman.
Lawman.
Lawman. I loved when he's trying to teach
like
the cop
it.
how to shoot. He's like, you got to push the bullet. Push the bullet out of the gun. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. No, but push the bullet. Like,
All right, guys, we got to
folks.
leave it there. Did we let you do your fight rap
We
shout
did.
out?
We did a bit earlier with Mr. Bo.
I've been training jiu-jitsu for 4 years. In 4 years, I got hurt 6 times. I received stem cell injections in my wrists, elbows, shoulders, both knees, and I got stem cells recently injected in my left index finger. After a week and a half, I was right back at it, going the way I like to go at it. At Leheal, Biogenix, they're friendly, they're patient, they answer all the questions you might have. Educate yourself. Call Leheal, ask about stem cells, and see where it takes you.
Unlock the power of your online presence with Black Belt Digital Marketing. Their reputation management program ensures your Google business profile seen by more potential customers. Black Belt Digital Marketing is your full-service digital marketing agency specializing in local SEO and reputation management. Boost your business today. Visit bbdigitalmarketing.com. Your success is their priority.
But I will put it on out there yet again. If you are a promoter, coach, or cut man, and you are looking for top quality products for our combat sports space, go check out fighttape.us. Check out our fight wrap gauze and tape. It is the highest quality tape and gauze possible, done for way less than our big brands because we care and they're ripping you off. So check out fighttape.us and get yourself some gauze and tape.
There you go. Check us out at Jiu Jitsu Dummies for all the ways to watch, listen, and support. You can check out my personal IG, Uncle Milty BJJ. I was reviewing one of the old episodes, and I saw the episode where I said at the end that I might change my IG last time. I was like, did I say that I was going to change it? I don't know. Like in the moment, I didn't remember it. I saw myself talk about it. Shout out to Rob.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you very much for being here.
Appreciate
Thank you
you.
very much for all your support and your involvement in Academy Safe.
Yeah, man.
I think we're doing big things. I think it's just even at the current pace, without us spending any money on advertising, this has been all organic. You posting, me posting, us collaborating. We've gotten to this place, and now we're in a really, really, really good place where the sports engine is working properly, like the signups are working properly. Everything is back to where it should be.
Yeah, and
we're going to make a push.
pushing harder for this campaign. Like we've been doing Academy Safe sponsored seminars, which has been great. So that's been pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So if there are any gyms out there that want to hire Academy Safe, I'll come out, teach a seminar. I typically teach striking seminars, so it'd be like kickboxing. And then depending on how we work that, proceeds go to Academy Safe. So ultimately, we're trying to make sure that we can keep this going. Academy Safe is a nonprofit, so we're working really hard on nothing. So the only thing that we have to work off of is your support. So if you believe in what we do, if you believe in keeping the industry more legitimate through safety, let us know because we're here for you. And if you want the Punani, it's Steven Seagal Strut. Just so anyone.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu. Peace.